Where last we
Continue
left
getting
off,
awkward.
our heroes had finally found a solution to Miera's life-threatening dreams in the shape of a magic ring gifted to them by Lord Saracen Islway, the leader of the Dawn Dreamers, a group established to bring about the return of that which shines and stop the arcane from dying in the world. In return, the party agreed to help in this quest by heading north into the Rendarian Empire in search of the Ostelian Circle, where it was said another of the Celestial Solara could be found, who would help with the healing of the world. During this time, our heroes were joined by a new companion, Beatrix Everling, a drow from the very empire they were about to head to. Travelling east and crossing the mighty Scimitar Mountains, the party began their journey through the mighty Fayfair, the enormous forest that took up much of the lands of Tilwith and the home of the Fae. Having been cautioned not to leave the path, and therefore leave behind the safety of what was known as the Accord, our heroes travelled swiftly, only encountering minor distractions from the strange beings that populated the dense woods around them. Well into their travels through these twilight-bathed woods, the party stumbled across an overturned wagon, and inside, a terrified and mentally broken member of the Fairfolk, a group they had encountered in Delian's Rest, and were known to be obsessed with the Fae. The poor elf, her mind seemingly broken, could only warn of the Dullahan and little else. Travelling onwards and doing their best to tend to her injuries, both physical and mental, the party found themselves set upon by this beast that had murdered their fair folks' friends. A headless horseman wielding a bone whip and shooting green lethal energies from its very eyes, and it was only due to Bee's strange pocket watch that she wasn't instantly mortally injured by the beast. During doing their best to flee in their wagon, it was Delgrim who came up with a brilliant and somewhat rash plan. Pulling forth the crossbow he found all that time ago in the abandoned village of Craigslate, he used the adamantine cable to capture the beast, firing a bolt into a tree and leaping from the wagon so that the cable would wrap around the foul thing. But even then, entangled and struggling to move, the Dullahan proved dangerous, its bone whip inflicting hideous wounds on any that it touched. In the end, however, our heroes prevailed, and the creature was slain. Injured and tired from the fight, and still deep within the woods of Fayfair, there were still many more days of travel before reaching their destination of Wildport, where they hoped to secure passage on a ship north, to potentially even greater challenges. But what waits them in Wildport? Will the chartering of a ship be so easy? And what else may they find there? So with that, we will skip forward just a tiny fraction, and you have all now taken a moment to recover from the battle you had with this creature. Many of you had suffered a number of injuries, some more grievous than others. And you had also performed a search of this creature to see whether or not it had any sort of possessions of any type, of which it really didn't. The one thing that you did notice about it, though, very strange, was that the head actually connected to the hand that was holding it. Almost as if it was one entire part of the creature.
Did we determine what kind of creature it was?
Is this Tiernan asking or John asking?
That's John asking. But if we... Tina will probably want to inspect the body a little bit just to try to work out what it is.
Tiernan, look, this head is connected to hand. And Delgrim will take his axe and just shear that connection immediately and separate the head just to see what comes out of whatever
Delgrim, that's
tendril is.
barbaric.
Much like the combat that you were just involved in, there is a spray of very real, very red blood from this creature. As you brutally hack off the arm and hold it up in front of your shardfolk friend.
Oh, don't bring that too close. What does it smell like? Is there a smell to it, or is it?
No, I mean it's probably it would have a very earthy aroma to it, but nothing untoward or strange.
Well, I've never seen one of these creatures before. Is it some kind of undead creature, or is it a member of the Fae? What is it? You seen one before, Delgrim?
I've seen nothing like this, but given the opportunity to do so, I think Delgrim will inspect it a little more closely, just so he can inform Tiernan a little bit more about the nature of the thing.
All right, so this is the first roll of 2025. This is establishing a baseline for.
Yeah, don't fuck it up, man.
So I would like you. You can make. You can make a history or an arcana roll.
Yuck.
Well, could I maybe help by that with that by enhancing his abilities potentially?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Um,
So Miera, as you watch Delgrim begin to sort of inspect this thing, obviously trying to ascertain what it might be after Tiernan has asked the question, what exactly is Miera doing?
well, I'm going to just go up to Delgrim and just put my hand on his shoulder and cast enhance ability Fox's Cunning, so he has advantage on any intelligence checks.
I love that.
I also love that. Hey, does enhanced ability stack, Hamish?
It
Lasts for an
does.
hour.
It does not stack.
That's sad, because that will fine. Okay, so just
Oh, don't forget Delgrim. Make sure you check his skin, and because certain creatures have different colored skin based on hair follicles and all that sort of paraphernalia.
Tiernan, I literally trying to hunt monsters. I know what I am doing. And Delgrim will start effectively dissecting this creature with the axe. And kind of peeling away bits of layers of skin, lifting up rib bones, kind of pulling out organs, having a bit of a look. And with the advantage, thank you, Cass, that is a nat 20 for the first roll of the year. Let's go.
Yes.
So would it be bad for me to say it's all downhill from here?
Look, that's the reality.
No, what a way to kick things off. So, with your mind sharpened by the magical influence of Miera's magic, you begin to examine this creature. And look, recently you have become a lot more familiar and have developed a much better understanding of some certain types of surface dwelling creatures, animals, and beings. In particular, those of the Fey nature, of which you very quickly ascertained that, yes, this is some kind of very dark, very twisted kind of Fey being. Twisted not in the respect that it's had something done to it to cause it to mutate or anything like that, but it is obvious that it is of the dark Fey side of things. This is not something that is of the more sort of pleasant variety, shall we say.
Yeah. Tiernan, not all Fey creatures are glitter and rainbows and granted wishes. This is one of the more dangerous of the Fey.
Well, to be
Enough
fair, the
so
only
that
Fae
it
I've met
ignored-
are dangerous.
Well, all Fey, I guess, are dangerous in some degree. But many also have much whimsy.
I thought there was some sort of promise in place. If we didn't stray off the path, we wouldn't be attacked by the Fae.
I'm not sure that entirely the exact nature of the existence of the path. I think it more if we go off the path, everything tried to kill us. I think this guy is just a piece of shit. But he's dead now. It not matter.
Speaking of, I think be standing there having played a part in slaying this creature and then watching it be absolutely dissected in front of her and likely covered in a lot of blood and gore, is probably standing there just like, and then she's gonna like pat herself down, and then she's gonna look at Delgrim and make sure that he's got no mortal wounds on him. And then she's just gonna say, mostly to herself, she's just gonna say, well, at least we're not dead.
Well, I think
Grumpfel.
Delgrim almost died.
Grumpfel, you have noticed with the one who has been fighting to control the horses that as soon as this creature died, the horses calmed down considerably. They were still very, very twitchy, but it was no longer a battle of you trying to control them and causing the wagon to suddenly race off. They were, with your experience over the years of working with horses from your trader days, you're conscious that they're still nervous and twitchy, but that inherent fear that seemed to be terrorizing them has now passed and they seem much, much calmer. Also conscious that like you're standing with the rest of the group as well, because you did go over after casting your spiritual guardians.
Yeah, so if the horses are all right, yes, Grumpfel's while the sort of post melee hubbub was going, then yeah, Grumpfel would have just sort of quickly walked back over just to double check on the horses again, any feed out of the wagon, just to give them something, a few kind words, just to sort of make sure that they're not going to bolt, because if no one's on the wagon when they bolt, then there is no wagon.
So as you walk over towards the wagon, you can see. Actually, no. We're going to skip across to Miera at this point in time, because Miera, you were still in the back of the wagon, weren't you?
No, I was up with
Oh, you're up with Rowan,
with Delgrim.
with Delgrim.
Yeah, I just jumped down to cast.
Okay, cool. Was
Oh,
it
actually,
else?
Rowan's on the top of the cart.
Rowan's on the top.
Trying to work out, yeah.
I'm just trying to remember.
I was in the back, but I've jumped out now.
Okay, cool. All right, so in that case, I will flip it back around to Grumpfel. So Grumpfel, as you go back towards the wagon, you can see peeking out these two very, very big eyes of Tatiana, who is now peering to see like what's going on. Not moving, but very much sort of hiding behind the wooden back of the wagon itself.
Grumpfel will go up to the wagon and will sort of just very cautiously approach the back of the wagon to find the feed bag for the horses, and look to see, like, she's obviously looking. I can see that she's nervous, but there's no body language in the sense of she's gonna attack or flee. She's just sitting there, still quite quietly, but albeit a bit stricken.
Make an insight check for me, please. This is Dungeons and Dragons. We roll dice when we play Dungeons and Dragons. And sometimes we don't. It just depends on what's going on. But
Hey,
today, we're going to roll lots of dice.
You know, we can get some cool dice. Meeplesanddragons.com.au.
Yeah.
Dice?
Dice. I rolled a nat 20 on one of these bad boys just before. They're real good.
That's an 18.
18. She barely notices you, and you can see there is still a look of supreme fear in her face. Her eyes are huge like saucers as she's watching where the rest of the party is and where the body of this Dullahan currently lies. Not moving, but very much someone who is almost locked in place with fear in many respects.
Did the rest of us notice that she's peeking out as well? Or was this just Grumpfel's noticed?
This would be so you guys would be sort of doing your dissecting, all of that stuff. Grumpfel's gone back, and he would be the first to notice this.
Cool.
Does she like when Grumpfel goes to the back of the wagon? Is she just sort of stare like with an inside of 18? Does she kind of does he see the eyes like look at him and look away,
No.
or is she kind of looking off into the distance?
Does not even register you're there. Her eyes are locked on what everybody else is doing with the body of this thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Then Grumpfel will just get some feed out of the bag and leave her to it because she's okay for the moment. I just got to make sure the horses are all right. Otherwise, if they get spooked or bolt, then we lose her and the wagon.
For sure. Okay. Rowan, was there anything in particular that you were wanting to do? Like, normally I feel like in this situation, Rowan's often the one who's keeping an eye out
Yeah,
to see
that's
whether
pretty
or
much. She stayed on the top of the cart for that reason, to be like,
Yep.
what's going on? This, especially probably looking off into the underbrush and stuff as well, where it came from.
Awesome. Can you please, you're going to roll some dice as well. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
Sure can. That is a natural 20 on the dice that I was given by Ham and Tam.
These guys are the best dice.
Outstanding. Wow, all the natural 20s early on, really setting the mood. Okay, so you can hear sort of the conversation going on with the rest of the group. You see Grumpfel going about his stuff. As you look out through the shrubbery and the undergrowth, through the tall trunks and boughs of the trees that you're surrounded by, your devil's sight cutting through the deep twilight, you notice peeking out from behind some of the trees and through undergrowth, small creatures, humanoid. Some of them you see have got little wings that are beating furiously. You see a couple which appear to be riding on toads, and they all seem to be very focused on what is going on.
Do they look like the same little things that gave rocks to people?
Not the exact same ones, but the same types.
Same types, yeah.
Yep. Not making any advances, but
No.
like absolutely focused on what's going on.
She's gonna unweaponize herself, basically. Like, she's got staff, just sort of puts it all away, and is like very clearly looking at them. So if they see her, she's gonna lock eyes with them. From a like, it's safe. I'm just here to suss out what's going on. It's not death staring someone down.
Yep. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Perfect. Okay. What is the rest of the group doing?
While everyone's dissecting the creature, Miera would like to bend down and pick up the bone whip.
Interesting.
Great idea. Oh,
You grasp the handle of it, which is effectively exposed vertebrae, and as you look at it, you can see the whip itself is like the backbone of something, with broken shards of like the ribs, which is what was causing the injuries. When you pick it up, it's heavier than what you expected. And it's like you just get that real kind of like ick vibe. Like there is something that's just really not pleasant about this thing.
Miera will scrunch her face up in disgust, but she still wants to see if she can give it a crack.
Okay. Make.
She's gonna try and mimic sort of the same moves that she saw it do, with like trying to wave it around and
Yeah.
I would like you to please make an attack roll.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. I believe a whip is a martial weapon. Let me just quickly
Do we get
dive.
dex saves to avoid it?
We'll get to that bit in a tick. So you are
Sorry
not
in
proficient
advance.
in it, so you
No.
can only add your dexterity or your strength modifier to this.
Okay. All right.
So roll a d20 for me.
Mm-hmm. 8.
Oh
Okay.
no.
All right. So you guys watch as Miera picks this thing up, almost needing two hands. Miera, like this Doulahan was significantly bigger than you, and this whip is like it's about 10 feet long. Like this thing is very, very long. And you try and mimic the motions that it used.
As I do it, I'm going to go, yeah,
And
just to see if I can give it some more oomph.
you drag it up sort of through off the road. The rest of you can hear the bones all sort of rattling together as you try and mimic the motion. It's too big, it's too heavy for you. It just sort of clatters awkwardly, and you can't get enough of a snap movement on it. Despite your enthusiastic, yeah.
I think Delgrim's gonna immediately follow that up though with it's fine, Miera. You keep practicing. I'm sure you'll get it. It's a very impressive piece of machinery. I think you can wield it with enough patience and practice.
I don't know, have you held it? It feels kind of gross.
And have not. I have tried.
Sure. I'll hand it over.
Brilliant. Also two-handed, I assume that Delgrim's gonna swing this thing around and he'll deliberately back away from everyone to make sure that no one's in immediate danger though to do it.
Yep, sure thing. So two hands on it. You attempt to crack this large whip.
Yeah.
I will just say saying yeah does seem to help a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Delgrim, you are proficient. This is a martial weapon, so you get
Mm.
to add your proficiency and strength to this.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so 14, proficiency is 17, strength it's dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. Holy all right. The same sensation as when Miera had it. It feels gross. It feels ick. There is something about this which is just unpleasant. It's hard to kind of put your finger on it, but it's gross. However, you do have the strength, and you've probably at some stage over your life had some kind of experience with whips.
Just a little.
And we'll leave that up to the audience's imagination where that might have come from. And you are able to effectively crack or at least mimic the motion of what the cracking of this whip would be. It doesn't make the cracking noise because it's not that same leathery consistency of a normal whip, which is where a lot of that noise comes from. But
more like a chiropractor's crack.
more like a chiropractor's crack. But you like the tip of it hits a tree, like hits some bushes on the very edge of the road, and there's just this like explosion of leaves. Rowan, you notice as he does that, a bunch of those little creatures just scatter and vanish.
Hey, Delgrim, can you not?
Do you want to go? Rowan is very. It does not feel good, but is strangely
Can
satisfying.
I recommend a little more situational awareness, perhaps, of who else might be here besides us?
Well, yeah, that is. Yes, is a good point. We don't want to scare little fake creatures all around. And he'll hand the whip back to Miera then, I think.
You're not going to keep it?
No, You pick this up. Find these keepsies. You absolutely just keep practicing. You can work out with me in the morning, and we get your muscles big and strong, so you can swing it around. But it really does not feel good.
That feels a bit icky, but I'll keep it just for now until you never know. It might come in useful.
Grumpfel, was there something that you were throwing in there?
With the crack of the whip, what do the horses do? And
You see them sort of start slightly, but because it's not that usual noise of a crack of a whip, there's not a massive reaction from them. Miera, where are you? This thing is a 10-foot long bone whip. Where are you going to put this? Because
Well, at the moment, I'm gonna just rest it over my shoulders while we're kind of standing there, and then
it would still drag significantly on the ground. Okay, cool. No, just making sure.
That's fine. It's like wearing a slightly too big dressing gown. It'll drag on the floor, but it's fine. So I'll put it over my shoulder, and then when we get into the cart, well, we've got a cart, so I can just put it in there.
Okay, cool. All right.
Excellent.
This
And
scene is
I think-
becoming.
Sorry, don't we have a bag of holding?
Yes, we absolutely do. That is in my possession, in fact.
Well, then I will ask when we get in the cart. I will ask to put it in the bag of holding.
Excellent. I think before heading cartward, though, the other thing that Delgrim will probably do, because B has just been standing there completely perfectly still and seemingly not engaging with any of the bone whip shenanigans. I think Delgrim will kind of pull out his hat real quick and just kind of offer it. Do you need to clean blood off of face and arms and legs and body and hair and all parts of you?
She's gonna look down at herself and be like, "Oh, blood. That was fun."
It was very fun. Did you see? I jumped off the cart, I had swung around the guy and had stabbed, and I was pretty sure I was dead, but then you were just there immediately and stabbing guy and blood going everywhere. It was very impressive.
I saw you jump off the cart, and I thought he's dead.
Yeah, warn us next
and-
time, Delgrim.
What?
And so I jumped off the cart because I don't know. I guess I just did. I'm glad he's dead though. It was I'll clean myself off. Maybe not on your hat. I have a water skin. I'll just use that.
It is
I
a lot of
appreciate the
blood.
offer.
I don't know if that's enough water to do what you think you're going to do. There's you're completely drenched with blood and gore and
Oh,
viscera.
that's okay. And she's going to pull out her water skin. And she's gonna take a sip from it. She's not gonna douse herself in it. But she is gonna cast prestidigitation to make herself look clean.
And the next thing you know, B is 100% fresh from the washing machine, absolutely pristine again.
Excellent. In which case, yeah, Delgrim will don the hat, head to the cart, bone whip goes in the bag of holding, and we are once again ready for adventure.
I am gonna ask as I also make my way back towards the cart. What's with the hat?
Do you like my hat? Sometimes I come from below the surface, and
Right.
sometimes on the open sky, it's not so much problem here on the forest. It's not a big deal. But it's now my favorite hat. Sometimes I get. I don't like the open sky. It's too big. It is just giant expanse of nothing above my head. And sometimes it feels like it's looking down on me and like it's going to like something going to come and grab me from open expanse of endless night or day sky. And I was gifted this hat to make me feel more comfortable.
Okay. If you ever want it to look a little bit different, I can do that.
Why would I want that? It's a great
Well,
hat.
no, I'm not
It's a
saying it
very
needs
fetching
it.
hat, is it not?
Yeah, I wasn't saying it wasn't. I was just... Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything before you all head off?
Yeah.
You go first.
I was going to say, once the horses are okay, Grumpfel is going to go back over to the remains.
Yep.
Obviously, he would have sort of heard and sort of over his shoulder seen Miera and Delgrim trying to use the whip. Just going to have he's going to have a look at the remains. This was a dark fae, not an undead.
That was the information that that Delgrim gleaned, correct?
Yeah. Does it look like it has any possessions that we might sort of like a backpack, treasure map note, 6 bottles of healing or anything like that on its no? Okay.
It's wearing very sort of simplistic clothing.
Yep.
But beyond that, no, it doesn't appear to be carrying anything sort of any kind of value.
Okay. With that, Grumpfel pulls out his holy symbol of Kamateon, holds it, stretches his hand forth towards the remains, and says, "By the power of the dawn and the dusk of Maisha and Kamateon, I cast you from this place to not return." And then he's going to just take his staff and kind of give it wherever its head was, or could be, kind of give it a smack with the staff, wipe the whatever gets on there off onto a bit of grass or whatever, and then return to the wagon.
Oh, awesome. Love it. Okay. You all clamber back onto the wagon. And the whole time, Tatiana is in the back, half hidden, still peering over at this body. And you sort of you clamber on around her. She doesn't get out of the way as people are getting up there. Just looking at this thing intently. And with that, apparently Cass is throwing a whole bunch of subs around, like an absolute legend. With that, the cart begins to trundle forward again as Grumpfel, I'm assuming it's Grumpfel.
Can be. Anyone else is welcome to, but
I'd
if not,
probably
yes,
jump
Grumpfel.
back in next to you, like we had been traveling before.
Perfect. Love it. As the cart moves off, Tatiana does not move from where she is.
You all right, Tatiana? The creature is dead. It's not coming back.
She very almost uncomfortably sort of turns to look at you. Her eyes are still big, and like a sort of almost slightly maniacal smile on her face. And she just looks at you and then just turns back to watch the body as the cart trundles down the road and eventually goes around a bend so the body is no longer visible.
Guys, who are any of us good at I don't think Tatiana's all right. She seems a little bit unsettled.
Tiernan, she's right there.
I know. I'm well aware.
Okay. I got this. We had a little moment before. I'm sure. Do you have a specific concern? She's been through a very traumatic time.
I realize that, but how long does that sort of thing last?
It can depend on nature of event, on constitution of person, on how fragile tiny little mind is when those things happen.
But shouldn't we be a little bit conscious of her more, or?
Absolutely. We just be patient. We be kind. We make sure she's okay as best as our abilities allow.
As the body no longer becomes visible, you see that she sort of slowly moves back from the back of the wagon and goes into one of the corners and kind of grabs, like there's probably some bags or some blankets or a bedroll or something, grabs that and kind of almost makes like a little nest, and she just sort of curls up into that.
Miera, do you have sparkle cookie handy? Do you have spare sparkle cookie at all?
I could give her a sparkle cookie if she's interested in eating. They always make me feel better.
And Delgrim will kind of gently approach Tiernan a bit, and I'm sure you have not eaten for a little while. We are going to go into Wild Pot soon. My friend here has a little snack for you. They're very delicious, make you feel very good on the inside. For now, you're safe. I told you, we keep you safe. We keep evil creature away. Your friends have been avenged.
She looks up at you and just goes, it's dead. Food would be nice.
I will hand her a sparkle cookie.
She takes the sparkle cookie out of your hand, Miera. She's just kind of, and as she puts it to her mouth and starts eating it, she's just like looking at you again. It's almost slightly unsettling.
I'll give her some, like, my water bottle as well. I don't know why she's looking at me otherwise.
And she takes that with crumbs falling from her mouth as she sort of eats the cookie rather ungracefully. Takes a long drink of the water and then even more, almost as if realizing just how thirsty she is.
Does that feel any better?
Yeah. Thank you. It's really dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really dead.
Yeah. Delgrim pulled it apart even more than he did when it first died, so it's dead now. Like, proper
It's
dead.
dead. It's dead.
And a very awkward Tiernan's like going to come up and just pat her on the shoulder. There. I guess you're safe now.
As you go to touch her and pat her, she sort of jerks away sort of slightly as you kind of come in the peripheral side because she's so focused on Miera.
Well, Tiernan's just going to go. I just keep his distance then. Doesn't want to unnerve her.
Okay, that's Tiernan. He's with us. He helped kill the thing as well.
Oh, it's
You're
dead.
safe.
It's dead. Okay. I'm gonna sleep now.
Yeah, maybe have a bit of a sleep.
I'm gonna sleep. And she like grabs one of the blankets, one of your blankets, Miera, and just pulls it over herself and curls up.
I'll
wagon-
leave her to it. I'm not going to pat her or anything like I would like to pat her, but I won't.
The wagon trundles on for the rest of the day until finally evening arrives. You all stop to set up your usual situation with camp, with again Rowan being the individual not needing any sleep, staying up for most of the night while the rest of you take intermittent turns as required.
I would, as the person that only needs 4 hours, just try and like at least make sure Rowan has company
Yep.
for 4 hours of that rest.
For
Sounds
sure.
good.
Awesome. Tiernan, you go about your usual setting up of the alarm spell to help secure the wagon. And you all enjoy the benefits of a long rest. So you can now, of course, hit the long rest button, ensure that you remove any temporary hit points that you might have received as well. During the night, when Rowan, you and B are awake, I'm assuming sitting on top of the wagon, which seems to be sort of the status quo for
Yep. Rowan got comfy. She found a good spot. It's good up here. We like it.
I'm just gonna take the advice of anyone I'm traveling with because I haven't done this before.
Amazing. So both of you notice towards the front of the wagon a small group, about 4 or 5 of these tiny fae that you've seen before, emerge from the undergrowth. You can see that in their small hands, they're holding to them what are very, very large wooden bowls. For them, it would be like a platter. For you, it's like a little plate. Heaped high on a couple of them are an assortment of berries. Some that you recognize, some that you don't. And they just place them on the edge of the road, easily visible. There's about 4 of these wooden little platters heaped with berries. Then some more come along, and behind them, with them, you can see on some more of these little wooden plates. They've got what appear to be little pastry pies, which they also put on the side of the road until there is probably close to a dozen of these little plates covered with berries and pies. Once all of this happens, the last of these little fairies, as they turn to go into the undergrowth, turns around, and it's a little male-looking fairy. The little wings flutter and it floats up in the air. It's probably about 30 feet from you guys. Flutters up, looks towards the 2 of you, just gives a little wave, and then off into the undergrowth.
I'm simply just going to wave back.
Do you think we did something nice for them?
I think so.
So,
maybe.
Miera, you're asleep.
I'm asleep. Damn.
Yeah.
I want the pastries.
Shut up, Miera.
Wow.
This is all talking in my sleep.
Wow, Cass.
I want the
Hey, if you want to
pastries.
speak to Meeples and Dragons HR about being
Yeah,
told to
can
shut
I
up,
see
I got
HR, please?
Whoa.
Fall down.
Wow.
I got you, girl.
Wow. So sorry, Rowan, what were you saying?
Do you think we did something nice for them? Do you think that thing was making it bad?
I don't think that thing was really pleasant for anybody.
No, I didn't. She's like, realized that she's sitting next to somebody who ended up covered in blood of this thing. She's like, no, I didn't mean that. Like,
which, by the way, prestidigitation has worn off now, so I'm still covered in blood.
No, because
prestidigitation cleans.
It's not an illusion.
It's not an illusion. It cleans.
Are you sure? Okay,
yeah, 100%.
Great.
Yep.
Excellent. It's worn off, but I'm clean as a whistle.
Yeah. That is why prestidigitation is awesome.
Hot.
Yeah.
Love that.
No.
My favorite part then is definitely not cleaning anyone else, just myself. But hey, yeah. No. I don't know much about fey creatures. I'll be completely honest. But I also think we were told a really specific thing, and that's to stay on the path. And anything that kind of strayed off it or maybe disrupted that path.
I mean, that's not on the path. I mean, that's on the path, though.
Yeah, but like it would. Yeah, I feel like the Fae also, these little creatures probably try to also follow that, right? Because have we? I don't know. This is really weird. I hate it here.
Rowan's gonna like, as gracefully as possible, bearing in mind that I have slippers of the cat on, slip off the edge of the cart and like, I just want to go like, suss them out.
Rowan, where are you going?
Yeah.
I just want to have a look. I'm not gonna touch it. I just want to have a look.
I'm gonna cast dancing lights above you, so that as these violet lights just appear above your head, as you make your way to wherever you're going.
She is gonna blink really, really hard because she has Devil's Sight, and that's suddenly a lot of bright lights around her head.
So,
She just wants to like have a look at like I'm vibing to like, what is this magic stuff, or can I just eat something?
so make a nature check to see whether or not you can identify like all the what the types of berries are.
Where's Promethean when I need him? No.
Sorry, you expect Delgrim to help you with ranger stuff? Doubt it.
I expect him to have better than a -1 to nature, so that's a 5.
That's a 5. Look, you're pretty sure that some of these are like blackberries, but there is a bunch of stuff on here which you've got no idea what they are.
Did you figure it out, Rowan?
No.
Do you need some help?
To have a look. I mean, do you think you can work out what all the weird... I mean, I'm not from around here, so I don't know what all the food is, but that's a blackberry.
I don't know. I don't know, but I can try.
We can swap places if you want me to keep looking at the road.
Cool, we can do that.
Okay. Trade.
Swap.
Trade locations.
I'm gonna attempt to also look at these berries now.
Is not potato shrug is so unbelievably accurate for me, and it's not fair.
I don't have a minus modifier to nature,
Wow.
so we'll see.
Okay. So so B, make your nature check now.
Okay, great. It's a natural 20. +2.
What
Must have been those
is
dancing
22.
lights. Must have been those lights.
Yeah,
Just the, like...
22.
Okay, interesting. So you
DM, please.
so you look at these berries. The first thing you're able to identify is all of them are non-poisonous.
Okay.
None of the berries that have been presented would do you any kind of harm. Absolutely, Rowan was correct. There are blackberries here. There are
Cool.
blueberries. There is something which you've read of, but you've never seen before in your life called cloudberries.
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 Okay.
Some gooseberries. And there's also some mulberries as well.
Okay.
There's also a small stack of these little pies.
Can I then maybe take out my dagger?
Yep.
And just poke the top of the pies. I don't want to like cut them open. I just want to poke a little, like you know how you're trying to make a pie cooler and you stick a fork in it?
Yep.
Similar thing.
So
I just want to try and determine what the filling is.
yeah, cool. So you stick the tip of your knife in, and there's just like this little, like the top of the pie just deflates just a tiny bit.
Mhm.
Little bit of steam comes out. You pull the knife back out, and the tip of the knife is covered in some kind of juice. And it's
The
pretty
juice
obvious.
pie.
And it's pretty just fucking hell. And it's pretty obvious.
You said it.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious that it's probably made from the very similar types of berries that they've also given you here as well.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else that's been left with these pies / berries that would indicate it's like an offering or like to a specific thing, or whether it's just there.
It's like they've just come out and left a big pile of food there.
Okay, I'm gonna make my way back to Rowan, and say, well, good news. None of them are poisonous, so if you wanted to eat them, you could. I don't know whether that's something we should do. But there's like gooseberries and cloudberries and mulberries and blackberries. And then the pies, they all have berries in them too.
You're just watching Rowan's face like light up at all the different berries that are being named. Why don't should we collect them at least? Like, it feels weird to leave them there if they've been given to us. It's like the little rocks, right?
Do we know that they're given to us though? What if they're given to something else?
She looks around, very obviously looks around, being like.
And there's very
else?
obviously
Like,
nothing else kind of
nothing
like
else,
nearby.
No, but what if the thing that they're given to is not here yet? Here's what I pitch. I think we take some of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of it, because then there's an offering if it's for something else that isn't us. But also we could just take some for us too.
Okay. But she's gonna stand up and like, in her best Girl Guides approximation in this world, like, call out into the woods, not loud enough to wake anyone who's asleep, but that's sort of like, if anyone's around, like, I if they're for us, thank you, wherever you are.
If they're not, then sorry.
Yeah.
But the brief, like, there is a slight breeze,
Everyone wakes up.
like, comes down the trail or the road that you're on, and for the briefest of moments, you think you hear a voice go, "You're welcome."
Rowan, like, if she like does a big spin around, because she doesn't like voices in her head. This is a pre-established thing. It's the whip of like, no.
But we both heard this, right?
You both hear it very, very faint, almost to the point of, did I hear it? Was that just the wind playing tricks on me, or?
Well, I think the "you're welcome" probably confirms that you're right. They're for us.
She's gonna jump down and like go over and like gather up basically as much of it as she can. She's small, probably can't carry most of it, but she'll give it a crack.
You can gather up. You can definitely gather up all the berries. It's a little bit kind of like awkward, but in saying that, because they're in these little wooden bowls, it's actually not that difficult, and you can kind of carry the stack of them back. And B, if you're wanting to, you could pretty much do the same with the pies, so that you can get everything back to the wagon if you would like. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You are now loaded up with a bunch of berries and pies.
Do we tell everyone that we got these, or do we keep it a secret?
I think Miera will be really, 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 she says really like too many times, mad if we don't share.
What if we just tell
or at
Miera?
least tell her? Do you think Miera is going to be able to not tell people about cool food?
I don't know. I don't really know you guys at all.
I think it's only fair to tell everyone.
You're right. I don't know. I'm trying to be funny, I guess.
We could keep them for, like, just not tell them till, like, we're far away from here. That could be... She's, like, not convinced that she wants to lie to the group, but, like, wants to be fun.
I don't know. Is that something that friends do? Like, do you play pranks on each other and stuff?
You're probably asking the wrong person. I'm the
I
one.
don't know. You
I
seem
was
like
the-
you have a lot of friends.
She is very much like in that like that's what you think of me, huh? Like cool? No, but like that's the
Totally
energy
the
you're
popular
getting.
kid. Run.
Yeah, like
Let me clarify. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 other people that she's traveling with.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no. But like you said, lots of friends, and
Yeah.
she's like,
lots is 4 to be.
yeah, lots of fun. I mean, like, I was the weird kid person thing. Halfway
Where?
at home, at school.
Cool.
Like, I understand. Like, I didn't think I was weird. Everyone else thought I was weird, which possibly has something to do with the whole. And she does her little hand crackly, like, prep thing. Probably has something to do with the whole, this thing.
Oh yeah.
So, lots of friends is an interesting thought. And she's like, stares off into the middle distance of like, I've never thought about the fact I have friends now. That's kind of neat. But also, friends.
I don't know. I think the magical stuff in there, it's all pretty cool. It's literally what I studied, so you know, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
cool.
forgot. So, do you know anything about? I guess you don't really know anything about this kind of weird magic stuff that I have. But what? Tell me more about home for you. If we're going to where you're from,
Oh,
well, did you have lots of friends? She
oh.
looks kind of hopeful that like you are also not like her and the weird kid who didn't have friends, and therefore your assumption that she is cool and has friends is based in some merit.
I had a friend. She was really cool. Yeah, I really liked her. She was fun. She probably doesn't remember me now. But hey, she was pretty cool. But yeah, no, we kind of stuck together. I don't know, like I didn't have it too tough. There are a couple people that were pretty mean, but you know, they will be, I guess. And then I went to the village that I went to, and I met some other friends, and then a bunch of them died. So yeah, you know, I had a couple of friends. It was fine.
So, well, it's not good they died, but I hope you
I don't
are
know how
watching,
many
like,
died.
the
Who knows?
try and be like, how do I've just been told that your friends died. How do I talk to you about that?
I mean, if they're not dead, then they're stuck in some sort of weird time loop that I don't really know how to break. So,
Oh, is that something you want to be able to do? Break the time loop thing.
I mean, yeah, but also, I don't think we can. That's really dangerous.
Have you met this group? You understand that they do dangerous things all the time. Like, she is quite literally going, have you met, like, you were in the pub when...
Yes, I've met them. And I think you would probably be a little bit more serious,
Yeah.
or like less like, than she usually is. Yeah, no, I've met the group. But the village was at the hands of Destaria. And she's really powerful.
She's... Yeah, Is she a good person? Powerful and good are not mutually exclusive.
No, you're right.
Or so my mum told me once. And she again looks back at her hands and be like,
she
might have got stuff at home.
She was a good person for a lot of the time that I knew her.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me a lot of what I know. Not necessarily taught me, but she helped me develop what I learned from my dad. And she helped me learn its power and what I could do with it at I think a basic level. I'm not sure how advanced we got into that because this magic that she did in Brasov is far beyond anything I've ever seen before. Until the village, I thought she was a good person. But I think people change, and I don't think a good person subjects that many people to a dark end that they don't have any control over.
Depends on why they do it, though, right?
It was an experiment.
Sure, but... And, like, you're watching her
And not
trying...
to a doomed village, not to something that was destined to fall, not in an intervention of fate. It was just, from my perspective, I wonder what would happen if. And I don't think there's a... I don't think the intention was to subject everyone to that. But also, it sounded like when we spoke, because I went back with her afterwards. I was too scared to run away then. It was kind of like a, oh well. Next time, I guess.
I guess different people have different ways of coping with what they've done on purpose or by accident. I mean, I am not saying that what she did is right. I don't know. But she must have a reason to believe it's not wrong, right? She's like looking at you like, she's trying to work out whether you are following her line of thinking of people have to make logical decisions. So why did she do it is the interesting part to roll at this point.
I hope that there was a reason that is bigger than anything I understand. But I don't at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And for that reason, I watched a friend of mine just disintegrate. And I watched someone I love be subjected to that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not your fault. It's fine. Hey, look, we're traveling to the Rendarian Empire where it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
She is looking at you like you've just said, it's fine that my friends died. She's not gonna push it any further, but she's gonna just like resettle herself and maybe grab the one type of berry that she was able to recognize and pop it into her face.
As you pop the berry into your mouth, you take that first bite. It is the nicest, juiciest blackberry you have ever had in your life. And the two of you now sit on top of the cart with this selection of food, of which you will have to work out with how many people you're going to tell about in the following day, and ponder about the conversation that you've just had. The morning rolls around. Still very much that same. It never gets to full daytime. You are kept in the eternal twilight of this forest, but you know it is day. As the rest of your party rouses from their slumber, are you letting them know about the berries and the pies? Are you wanting to do anything, or are we just continuing onwards?
Bee's face is covered in pie berry.
So you're
I'm eating a pie for breakfast.
Okay, so hold on. I just want to clarify. So B, when are you eating that pie?
For breakfast.
Okay.
The next day.
Before people get up? After people get up?
No, like I'm not being shameful about it.
Okay.
It's
All
just like a, hey, look what I found, but also not in your face. It's just like a, hey, here's this thing that we now have access to. I'm eating a pie. Yum.
Okay. So the rest of you guys will see.
It's like purple fucking blueberry juice all over my face as I eat.
So B, can I get you to please make a
No.
Constitution saving? No, I'm kidding. There is no Constitution.
I'm gonna do it anyway. 17, motherfucker. That's without my modifiers.
The
bitch.
pie, even though it will have cooled off by now, is also truly delicious. And the rest of you can see this collection of berries and pies that your two companions seem to have come across in the middle of the night. And the fact that B has absolutely gone to town on at least one of them.
There is
Did you do
pie?
midnight baking, did you?
You can make pies?
No. And I pull out the plate of remaining pies.
How many pies have you eaten?
Just one.
How many pies were there, Ham?
There was 6.
And there are 7 there are 6 of us. Great.
Right,
Rowan has eaten 1, but she's not covered in juice.
Actually, let me correct that. There are 7 pies.
Tiernan's not even
Because of,
thinking half awake. He's just going to grab a pie and start eating. When did you guys have time to make pies?
I offer the
We did
plate to
make
everyone
pie.
else.
What was that? Sorry, Ron?
We didn't make pie.
Well, where'd the pie come from?
Rowan, there's pie right there. What do you mean you did not make? Who made the pie?
Miera, did you make the pie?
I didn't make pies.
Have you been sleep baking again?
Delgrim will go over to Tatiana, assuming she's still sleeping, just kind of grab her by the shoulders and shake her a little bit. Did you make pie in the night?
No.
She lets out a piercing scream. And is going to physically try and push you away.
Sure.
Are you gonna try and hold on to her? Are you just
No,
gonna...
no, absolutely not. It'll be a passive kind of backing up. Sorry, you're sleeping. I'm very sorry. There is mystery pie.
So she before you even get those out of the words, she's fallen out of the back of the wagon onto the ground, and is pushing herself actively away as if someone who has just been truly terrified to the core of their very soul.
It's just me. Remember the friendly Delgrim who helped to kill the evil creature that murdered your friends. It's okay. I'm sorry for the startling awakening.
Delgrim, I seriously think
safe.
you missed your calling in life. You should have been a nurse.
It's not the first time I've heard this, Tiernan.
Really?
She is sitting in the middle of the road, eyes wide. You can see tears now starting to stream down her face.
Just want to clarify these were Fey pies.
Miera's going to jump down with a pie and a blanket and just slowly approach her.
Let's make a persuasion check to ascertain how well you can try and get close to her.
25?
Sorry?
25?
Okay. Pie in one hand, blanket in the other, you very slowly approach this elven woman who she's not actively crying, but there are tears streaming down her face. She doesn't take the pie, but she doesn't resist you putting the blanket around her. And you could kind of put the little plate with the pie on her lap if you wished.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the blanket around her and apologize and just sorry for the startling. Delgrim can be a little bit abrupt sometimes, but he means well, and you're safe with us. I promise nothing is going to get you if it doesn't get us first. So everything's okay. Do you want to get up and come back into the cart? And I'll just try to motion her to stand up because she's bigger than me, so I can't help her up.
She's not a whole lot taller than she's only just 5 foot max. So you are able to help her up, and she at this stage she's not resisting, and you're able to help her get back to the cart. She's watching Delgrim very cautiously at this point in time. As you help her get into the cart, and she sort of positions herself, Delgrim, if you're still in the back, sort of at the opposite side of the wagon to try and keep as much distance as possible.
And I think Delgrim will turn to Grumpfel. Grumpfel, perhaps I help you make some coffee for the morning before we set out.
Of course. Grumpfel will get his coffee out and start sort of find a spot on a good side of the fire to start brewing.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and Delgrim will clamber out and give her some space.
You guys go about your usual morning routine of getting organized before you head off. Coffee is made, breakfast is consumed, pies and berries are eaten, and then again, they are all truly delicious. And then you pack up, get back into the cart, and continue upon your way. Now, as the next few days are uneventful, the only thing is that every night.
Oh, sorry, Hamish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just before we do leave the area, once
Yep.
finding out about the berries and the pies and the platters by the side of the road, Grumpfel is going to leave 5 gold coins and a little bottle of holy water.
Okay, love it. Very nice. So every night at about the same time, B, you and Rowan would actually observe little groups of Fae delivering again berries and pies.
Pies for breakfast every day.
Yeah.
How many days pass of this?
So this would happen for another 2 days. So it'd be 3 days all up.
After the second day.
Yep.
This is where I have to work out how a spell works. Hold on 1 second. I would like to cast comprehend languages on myself.
Okay.
And try and write it's technically not how this works, but arguably try and write in my best approximation of a Fae, in the same way that someone tries to write in French but can't. But because I'm comprehending language, I can tell whether what I've written is what I've written. Does that make sense? You are. I'm happy for you to make me roll to do this, but what I want to leave them is just a little note that just says, "Thank you. I hope we didn't do anything wrong. Like, we haven't done anything wrong. Like, that idea of just trying to communicate, like, thank you for this. You don't have to, but thank you." Because what it says is I can understand any written language that I see, but I must be touching the surface. If I'm physically trying to scroll in Fae, and I'm bad at it,
I want you to make me an Arcana roll, please. I get what you're trying to accomplish.
That is a 17.
Okay. You write down what you think using this magic as an approximation of what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
The next night, on top of one of the bowls of berries, there is a small piece of paper. And in
like,
common,
yeah.
it says, "You're welcome. Your grammar sucks."
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. She like looks at it and just sort of like nods to herself in a sort of like, yeah, I tried.
So it is 5 days travel from where you encountered the Doulahan to getting to Wildport. So over that period of time, is there anything anyone in the group or the entire party as a collective is wanting to do? Mr. Grumpfel, I can see you've raised your hand. John, I can see your brain cells firing as well. Which one of you wants to go first?
Well, I'll go Grumpfel go.
Okay.
Okay. So each morning, Grumpfel, when he makes his coffee and when these delicacies are there for the party to consume, Grumpfel will make a sort of a cooler, watered down, but still warm coffee, and go over to the elf and try to get her to eat or drink something. He will also do his best to perform an elven lullaby that he heard in his travels ages ago, and just talk to her, not in Elven because he doesn't speak Elven, but try to talk to her, if it needs almost like a therapeutic way, if it needs a medicine or an insight or a performance check, just to reassure her that we are friends, that the bad things have gone, and just try to chip away at that shell that she's constructed for herself, given the trauma of the recent days. And each day, just try to reinforce that we're friendly.
So the first thing I would like you to do, please, is to make I want you to make a performance check. So on the first day, as you provide her with the food, and the rest of you, as you're going about your morning routine, would hear the dulcet tones of Grumpfel's voice as he begins to sing in the back of the wagon. But Grumpfel, what is your performance roll?
That is a 15 plus 3 for performance is 18.
18.
Nice.
What's Grumpfel's singing voice like?
Well, Heath's singing voice isn't. So what Grumpfel's voice would be, given that his voice is like this, perhaps it'll be shocking, and he is a little more baritone than that.
Oh, that's absolutely what I was thinking. So you guys hear this very
Hi.
soothing, deeper singing coming from Grumpfel as he sings this very, very simple, as he said, elven lullaby to Tatiana, who watches you very intently as you do this, Grumpfel. But it does seem to relax her. What I would like you to do is to also please make for me a medicine check.
That is a 17 plus 7 for a 24.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's almost like you've got a doctor in the house.
I know. Paging Dr. Grumpfel. Okay, so
I just had this random thought that he starts singing Dr. Beats.
So what as you spend time with Tatiana over the next couple of days, and the rest of you would observe sort of what's going on here, you recognize someone who's suffered something very traumatic, has responded with their mind effectively trying to run away, trying to just suppress it all and removing herself from the pain. You think, though, maybe that there could be magical means in which to help restore some of her mind. There could be certain spells that you would have access to, which might not necessarily a spell that would heal a wound, but a spell that might heal or remove conditions or that sort of thing. So whilst I've now given that small breadcrumb to Heath to ponder upon for a moment, John, I know you're wanting to do something with Tiernan, although I feel like potentially that might be impacted by what Grumpfel is trying to do.
Yes. Tiernan would take the opportunity to be nearby.
Yep.
Regarding Tatiana, and when Grumpfel is doing the motions and so forth, and he will just start talking to her in fluent Elvish.
Okay.
About he's just going to. I'm just going to ramble, but ramble along things about things he saw in Delian's Rest. Start talking about the innkeeper's name, who was in the wilds, who I've forgotten. Say a few bad words about the fortune teller there. It's all a crock, and just start generally just talk common in a very matter of fact, just ramble about various things he's seen, about the terrible state of the last town he was in, and just try to make it commonplace, and then start saying things like, "Oh, and now we're going to Wildport, and not really too sure what to expect. Have you been there before?" Try to lead her into a conversation. And with the two-pronged approach of trying to make things a little bit more normal. Just two people having a conversation about where they've been, where they're going, as well as inquire about if she's been to Wildport before, have no idea what to expect. Can you recommend a good inn? All that sort of general stuff. Just get her talking, or if she doesn't want to talk, just keep rambling.
Make a persuasion roll for me, please.
You know how I feel about rolls.
Then, my friend, you're playing the wrong game.
May I use Flash of Genius on this?
Can you describe to me this new ability that Tiernan now has access to, please?
Okay, it is essentially I'm allowed to add, when I get through it, I'm allowed to add my int bonus to any ability check or saving throw to essentially roleplay like a sudden intellect insight on something. So I've recognized that she's very rattled and not of sound mind. So something more commonplace.
Yep. Sure. Absolutely. Sounds perfect.
Okay. So persuasion, you said?
Yep.
Okay. That is a 23.
Okay. Cool. It's almost like you guys are starting to get like slightly higher levels and the rolls are starting to get slightly better and stuff. Tatiana does not engage in conversation with you, but the beginning of the second day, you notice that beforehand, it almost seemed like she wasn't paying a lot of attention to you. The second day, she starts to. She's listening. There's eye contact, but she's still not really communicating. But you can definitely see there's progress there, and with sort of Grumpfel doing some of his stuff as well, you can definitely see that she is starting to relax. But there is still that blockage there.
Okay.
Heath, how are you going?
Just looking through Grumpfel's repertoire, and I'm not seeing the spell that I was thinking of, because I think I still need to get another bump to get access to it.
Oh, because it might be a level of which you don't quite have access to yet.
Yes. Yeah, the most that he could do looking at it
Oh.
was, I was looking at remove curse, but that's more item attunement rather than a magical manifestation upon someone. It's a connection of a cursed item to a person rather than. I think the next one I'm looking for is where's my? Let's go old school PHP.
I thought remove curse could be used if someone was cursed, if the item was cursed.
Yeah,
One creature or object.
I need to know if she's got if she's holding a cursed item. But the medicine insight from it, she's not obsessively touching something or playing with an item or something like that. And the fact that it looks like she's shell shocked more than bound to a cursed item tells me that it is more of a brain matter rather than a matter.
Hmm.
I'm
So-
looking.
What again? Whilst Heath is looking for that, is there anything anyone else is wanting to do that's maybe not related to this scenario as we travel along?
Yeah, Delgrim's gonna gather up as many of the tarot cards as the party are willing to give him, and he's just gonna spend a couple of days poring over them to just get a sense, and especially for all of the little references to Wildport that they kind of noticed in those cards, just to try and kind of put himself there before they actually arrive, so that if these cards do have some kind of helpful, genuinely useful significance, that he feels a little bit more prepared for what it is they might find there.
Okay. Do you need me to give you anything, or is this?
Well, it depends if there's anything we can eke out of those cards that you haven't already given us, I guess.
Not anything else, I'm sorry, my friend. That is, you have eked and squeezed as much from those as I have given you, beyond your own individual interpretations.
Excellent.
Tiernan's not going to let you have his card. He'll show it to you, but he's hesitant to let go of it.
His card. Good.
It's his now.
Yeah, that's fine. Delgrim will just roll his eyes and won't push on.
Like he'll give it to you, but he's literally going to stand there waiting for it back.
Good. If you're going to look, Tiernan, fine. I'm just looking at all the cards. I'm trying to see are there any cool little things in background that we might have missed. The others of us actually have skull for face, like in Miera's little skull face. What kind of little things there? But I cannot see anything here that is useful. You can have card back.
I feel like the card is important to me. That's all.
Rowan, when she handed you her card, because she's like, given someone has to drive this cart, she's kind of taken front for that because, other people are dealing with Tatiana and things like that. So when you've asked for it, she's just like passed it back to you and gone, I want it back, but do your thing. And she's like kept driving, for want of a better word.
Everyone will receive their cards back after a time of study.
So with that, we're going to take a little 5-minute break, because I really need to go to the toilet. So that gives people a chance to maybe ponder upon what kind of magical things they can do to potentially help Tatiana. And then when we return, we'll see whether or not anyone can help try and break through, or whether or not Tatiana will be stuck in this current state. And we'll go from there. And we will find out what Grumpfel is going to try when we get back. So we'll return in about 5 minutes. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon. Hey, welcome back. Hey, as always, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. You're choosing to spend your time with us, and time is the most valuable thing that any of us have. And so the fact that you're choosing it to spend it here is super nice. So thank you. With that, getting back to the travels. So there is a 5-day period, and over the course of this time, it sounds like Grumpfel potentially has got some ideas to try and see whether or not he can assist Tatiana, the elf that the party has currently got with them that they saved from the Doulahan. So, Heath, what is your plan?
Well, Grumpfel's sort of given that we can change a few things around. He's changed up his spell list to now include access to tongues. Even though he gets the feeling that Tatiana can understand common, the thought that it might be a helpful thing to be actually able to converse without miscommunication. So the thought was to use tongues to let her know what we were trying to do to help her. I dare say the floor is open to a few others about what we could try and do. So he hasn't cast tongues yet, but wants to speak with the party because everyone's shown concern about this elf, and say that he will relate his observations about he thinks it's a vex on the mind.
Okay. Did anybody else anybody else have a plan for how they were potentially going to try and support Grumpfel with this little endeavor of his?
I could cast enhance ability if you're doing anything, I think, wisdom based. I could potentially help there.
Yeah.
And so walk me through, so the casting tongues to have the conversation, and what else is involved? Heath?
So yes, so to be able to converse with her properly, Grumpfel's got to use tongues. But given his sort of thinking about some of his medical knowledge and his clerical, not so much note keeping, more spells than thinking of lesser restoration or remove curse. If the poor elf has her mind warped because of an effect, then we want to try and see if we can undo that. So I get the feeling that trying to walk around a new city where we're not from, we don't have any contacts with, trying to find someone or hire someone of a higher level to help Tatiana is probably the backup of the backup of the backup plan. So if there's anything we can do here ourselves, then it saves any of that that sort of wandering in the dark.
Yeah. I think then, and I don't know, Ham, if you want to have this actually play out in conversation or not, but I think Delgrim just quietly to Grumpfel perhaps ask if she's willing. I can try to calm her emotions somewhat. It may assist with the success of what it is you are trying to achieve, but only if this is assistance she's willing to receive.
If this Doulahan has affected her mind rather than her body, it's assistance through the divine that is sort of stretching to the upper limits of what I have. I feel that in concert, maybe we could do something, but I'm not 100% sure of it. Physical magics to help the body is one thing, but mental magics to help the mind is an area that I sort of have only done a little bit in, and though I think we could get it to work, I am not 100% certain. Rather than rush in and use up magics that we may need through the day, I wanted to open the conversation to everyone to sort of see what thoughts were.
We can only try.
I'm happy to continue the conversation in her native tongue. I may be a shard folk, but I am an elf. So we do have common ground in that capacity. Just to try to make things a little bit more common place. You know, I'm not really all up on the nature of the mind and the one's healing of it, but surely after a traumatic event, some sort of common ground make things more normal, I guess.
Nature of the mind, Tiernan, is very fragile and subjective. Each individual has a unique inner being. There is no single approach that could ever work to restore
That's why
such
I'm
a thing.
happy to keep conversing with her in her native tongue. If that helps.
I think if we combine our talents, and again, only if she's willing for us to attempt to help her with this.
Well, then, by all means, ask her.
Well, if no one else wants to ask, I'm happy to. So you want to cast one of your spells, Delgrim, is that correct?
In the concert with Grumpfel's attempts to perhaps apply some kind of inner healing. It may have no effect at all, but it might. We don't know until we try, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I'll turn to Tatiana and speak in the Elvish. Tatiana, you've gone through. You've had a very unpleasant experience traveling through this strange fey forest. We do have a healer on hand who is happy to assist to help you through this troubled time, if you are open to receiving help, that is.
Make a persuasion roll, Tiernan.
19.
Okay.
19?
19?
Sorry?
19.
19. Okay. She's used to the sound of your voice at this point in time with the conversations that you've been having with her. And whilst her gaze is still somewhat sort of clouded and you seem somewhat absent, she gives a very brief nod.
Well, then I'm turning to Grumpfel and Delgrim. She has agreed.
I think.
But I suggest Grumpfel take the lead on this one, Delgrim.
Delgrim's just gonna shoo Tiernan away for a little bit, and very gently and super calmly approach Tatiana. And so this is going to be just Delgrim exuding an inner calm that he finds within himself. And he'll just very gently approach, just fingertips kind of on the side of her head, just staring deeply and unblinkingly into Tatiana's eyes. And there's nothing visible about it. It's very like a lot of Delgrim, the magic that Delgrim produces. It's not sparks and flashbangs and, you know, whizzy stuff. It is just a sense of this power that roils from within and around him. And that passes through him, just this sense of inner calm and peace into Tatiana. And then he just as gently steps away making room for Grumpfel. And anyone else who wants to get in on this to help out in whatever way they think they can.
She acknowledges your presence as you place the fingertips on her head. You sense a slight anxious sort of stiffening of her body, which then relaxes again as the inherent magic within you washes over her. And you actually see her take sort of like a long sort of shuddering, quite emotional, deep breath before you step away. Grumpfel, what are you doing?
Sorry, I just realised I hadn't finished sorting the spells. I'd made sure he had tongues and lesser restoration, but I just realised I hadn't actually clicked the prepare button for remove curse.
It's all good. I'm sure we can hand wave that. That's fine.
Alrighty. So Grumpfel will sort of bring over his what's it called? Staff of the Lantern Bearer. And he's going to sort of sit down. Now, she is standing, sitting. She's in the back of the wag, sort of scooched up like normal.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to come over and he's going to sit down near or next to her or within arm's reach sort of thing. And he's going to illuminate the lantern, not bright, not like, here you go, here's a flashlight in your eyes, just so it's like a nice light.
Yep.
And he's going to sit and look at her and sort of just watch reaction as well. And he's just going to talk to her in common, not going to use tongues at this stage. And he's going to say, "My dear, your mind has been through a lot. I want you just to focus on this lantern and just breathe and let everything spill out of your mind. Don't think of anything. Just look at this lantern and listen to my voice. And we are going to try to see if Kamateon will help us bring you back." And he's going to just very quietly start the words for lesser restoration.
Well, Miera will probably be hovering in the background. She's just going to lightly touch Grumpfel on the shoulder again while he's starting that and cast enhance ability Owl's Wisdom, so you can have advantage on wisdom checks.
Okay. Grumpfel, I would like you to make what will be the equivalent of a spell attack roll, even though you're not attacking.
Right.
But it is your proficiency plus your normal spell modifier. And with the enhance ability that Miera has provided, you can roll that with advantage.
Well, one of them's a 1, so we won't look at that. The other one, so spell attack is +7. That makes a dirty 20.
Nice.
Lesser Restoration is a magic which is not really designed for this situation, and you're well aware of that.
He's also happy to see if he can weave that remove curse into it as well, to see if the hybridization of the second and a third level spell will create an overlap effect that I hope may help.
That's something that probably is not like you can't. You would need to cast one, then the other.
Yeah, that's what I intend to do.
Yeah, okay. So with the Lesser Restoration, they're
both instantaneous, so so there's no concentration for one then the other.
Yeah.
Tiernan can also cast Lesser Restoration if required.
Mm-hmm.
So you could focus on your remove curse. That was if we needed to do them at the same time.
So the Lesser Restoration has been cast. The roll has been made. Grumpfel, you... In this respect, in some ways, with the experience that you've had with the calming magic that Delgrim has used, you get that sense as the divine energy passes through you that it's almost like, in some respects, her mind has been poisoned. It's a tenuous grasp, and whilst the magic that you're wielding at this point in time, as I said before, is not really designed for this, you get a sense that there is actually something else helping you. It's not Kamatayon, but something else. You're not really sure what.
If it's not Kamatayon and it does it have a familiarity to it? Is it Maisha?
Nope.
No. Does it have a shorter familiarity of being Esmeralda? Maybe with the shard?
You're not sure what it is, but you do sense the magic begin to almost lift the shroud from Tatiana's mind that has clouded her, that has caused some of, at least, the damage that has been caused by the Dullahan. And as the rest of you watch, you once again see tears start to fall down Tatiana's face. But this time, her eyes seem clearer. She seems more focused. And rather than the sort of the almost blank looks where she would look almost like through you rather than at you, her eyes focus on you properly, Grumpfel, as you feel the last of the energy of the spell finish. And she reaches up and sort of wipes away some of the tears. And she says, I'm really, really hungry. Can I have something to eat, please?
Yeah, sure. Grumpfel's got his pack there. He's going to pull out some food.
She, as you pull out the food and put it in front of her, she picks it up and begins to almost ravenously eat.
I wouldn't, not too fast, my dear. You don't want to make yourself sick. You look hungry, but I would very much recommend just pace, breathe. Here, have something to drink, and he'll pull out a spare water skin. Said, slowly, you'll be fine. Your mind and your body have gone through a lot. Let's help you continue to be on the path back to the light.
She takes the water and resists the urge to just gulp down huge amounts, taking small sort of sensible sips. She is now very much coming across as someone who is far more lucid and with it than you have all seen her since you first encountered her. Her eyes sort of wander across the rest of you, watching as she eats the food.
How are you feeling, Tatiana?
Hungry, tired, sad. I feel like I've like a fog's been lifted from my mind, though. I'm so tired.
Well, you are welcome to rest as much as you like. The cart still moves as we go, so we've still got many days before Wildport. Do you know where you are?
She glances out the back of the wagon. And she's, I mean, I'm. Are we still in Fayfair?
That's correct. We're about 3 days, I believe, away from Wildport. So you have plenty of time to rest up, get your bearings.
She nods. She goes, and she looks at you for a moment, Grumpfel. And just says, I don't know what you did, sir, but thank you. I still feel just so emotionally drained, but thank you.
My pleasure. It appears that the dawn and the dusk were on our side to help you to find your way back. I feel that we've all helped you. Just steady and don't rush anything. We certainly don't want to have you return to that which you were days ago. We're glad to see that you are feeling better.
She gives you a nod and a smile. She glances over to you, Delgrim, as well, and just gives you a small smile and a nod. And then continues to just wolf down food. What we'll do now is that it will still be some time before Tatiana will be sort of up to engaging and more conversation for those of you who maybe wanted to ask her questions. But in the meantime, I am aware that some other people in the group are wanting to do stuff on the travels as well. So we're going to bounce across to Miera, who I believe has something that she wishes to do.
Yes. While we're traveling for 5 days, Miera's going to be sending some messages. So the first one, I think I regularly keep in contact, but I would like to send a message to Lord Esselway.
Okay, interesting. All right. Once again, DM note, sending the spell that truly terrifies every dungeon master out there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let me try and remember which of these, who, what, and how, and what's going on. Okay, all right. So actually, what I'll do is I'll ask a couple of very quick questions here. Rather than potentially, if we don't need to, depends on the situation, RPing out a whole bunch of stuff, are you sending information to kind of go like, FYI, this is what's going on? Are you wanting responses? What's the deal with what you're trying to get out of this?
Well, yes, some of it would be updates, like, what's happened on the road and all of that sort of stuff. So Delgrim would have been covered, as would have finding Tatiana. The questions I wanted to ask, there was a couple of questions. One was just, has he had any updates from the other Dawn Dreamers? Has Tara Lisa come up with any more useful information about where her other Solaris might be at? And also, just lastly, like, just what you doing? That sort of thing.
What you doing?
What
You
you
up?
doing?
Yeah, just a casual sup.
Yeah. And sending it at the most awkward times as well. It's like, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. What you doing?
Yeah, what you doing? What you wearing?
Nobility booty call.
What you have for dinner?
Yeah, what do you have for dinner? So, to summarize a lot of that, so Lord Isilway would actually be very appreciative of the messages that you are sending.
As he should be, yeah.
He seems very, very familiar with this type of spell and is very concise with his replies. He would advise you that there has been no extra, he has not heard anything else from any of the other Dawn Dreamers, nor has Taralisa provided any further information about any of the other Solara. In regards to what he is doing, he would advise you that currently he is ensuring two things. One, that they have a good understanding of what is happening with the conflict south around Harrow. And he is eagerly awaiting the return of the group that was sent to collect Rowan's family from Riverview as well.
And I would, of course, let everyone know any of those updates that came from Lord Isilway. So I will just keep needling him throughout the 5 days just to see have you heard anything, just in case any of that changes. I also wanted to send a message to Aloysius, just really short and concise, just like, where you at?
Wow, okay.
Whoa.
All right, I feel like this is probably something we may need to role play out a bit. Okay, potentially. So literally, is that the extent of your message?
I'll say it's Miera.
Yeah.
Where you at? You can reply.
The reply from Aloysius is, Miera, darling, good to hear from you. Hope you're well. Currently relaxing in Wildport.
Can I use another message to ask? Hi, where in Wildport are you, and who is with you?
To which Aloysius will reply, I'm in the Hymn of Wine with the rest of the Delirium.
How many have I got? Can I ask how long he intends to stay
So,
in that location?
how often can you cast this spell?
I'm just checking.
Because at this stage, you've also cast a bunch to Lord Isilway, so you're potentially going to max out at some stage.
Yeah, I think I've got hang on, three. I think I only have 3. I would have spaced out the Lord Isilway ones, but yeah, I won't respond. I will just leave it at that for now.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. So, with that information in hand, you're passing it on to the rest of the group?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, don't tell Aloysius we're coming.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Oh, phew, because otherwise you'll probably leave town like you did last time.
Yeah, but I think I don't think he's stupid. I think he kind of knows that we might be coming. But at least we know where he is, and he's with the rest of the Delirium, so we might be able to catch up.
So where did he say he was in? What in?
What was it? Something about wine.
The Hymn of Wine.
The Hem of Wine. Yeah, so he's at the Hem of Wine. I don't know what that is.
Miera, have you asked Bex about what happened at theater?
Yes.
What was her response?
Oh God, that was last year. Just looking through my notes.
You don't have to answer right away. I understand it might be a little painful for your friend to betray you and leave.
I can't remember, but I think the gist of it wasn't done with any malice, and she didn't actually know herself what was going to happen. And so I think it was as much of a surprise for her as it was for us.
Seems unlikely, but fair.
I'm a little confused by something, Miera. You're casting spells to contact Aloysius. Why are you not speaking with Bex? Isn't she your best friend?
He is. But like I said, she didn't really know what was going on. And so I want to speak to the person that might know what's going on and who knows what their next plans are. Because I feel like she might just be going along because she feels that she's not forced to, but maybe like obliged to. Potentially.
Do you think Miera, she's perhaps in danger with delirium?
I don't think so. I think she can look after herself to a fair degree. But you've seen Aloysius. I think he has a certain way of being able to convince people to do things, and that his way of thinking is potentially good, which I don't argue with. I think he has some good points.
I do not approve of his methods, though.
Well, I don't know. I still think maybe it was an accident. Maybe it kind of got a little bit out of control.
Well, even Lord Ethelway did not approve of his methods.
No. That's true. But he didn't denounce him completely, like he wasn't like he's a bad guy. So
Well, didn't he already have one follower leave him and join Lord Ethelway instead?
oh, you mean
Alphalus?
Aphelas? Yeah. I don't know about Aphelas. He feel like he wasn't really part of the gang right from the start. He was just kind of a hanger-oner.
I just think we should be very careful around Aloysius.
We actually haven't really given him the time or the space to explain things properly. We've kind of made an assumption based on the experience we had and the problems caused.
Well, true,
But maybe if we gave him that chance to actually explain everything, and we might find, like I said, maybe it wasn't intended to be as bad. Maybe it was only supposed to be one person that was burnt, and not the whole theatre.
Well, honestly, Miera, the way I view things is once burnt, twice shy, and secondly, he didn't really allow himself the opportunity to explain himself. He left.
Well,
Is Grumpfel within earshot of this, or is he working with Tatiana?
No, I think the whole group would potentially be there unless there's a particular reason for you guys to not want to talk in front of others.
He lost the opportunity to explain himself because he literally left.
yeah,
He
but
winked,
had
he
to
winked,
because-
he winked, he smiled, and then he left. That just screams innocent and accident to me.
No, no,
something in his eye.
I think Miera is right. I personally am very much looking forward to asking Aloysius to explain exactly why he set theater in which we were all in on fire and then quickly and surreptitiously leaving the place for us to potentially burn to our own deaths. I'm
maybe
looking
if we
forward to
use-
this conversation.
We use our words in the conversation. We don't use anything else during the conversation.
Okay.
She's just going to pointedly look at all three of them, specifically because they're the noisiest ones.
Oh, Rowan has deliberately
threatening.
stayed out of this conversation. That is a very deliberate. I am worried about the horses and the cart right now. Can hear it, but is not engaging in it because there's too much argument happening that she's not wanting to be part of.
Miera, I promise you that I will let Aloysius explain himself to you.
I promise that so long as you consider a punch in the face as words, that I will only have words with Aloysius.
Don't actually agree with that. We could have an explanation and then decide if we need to punch people.
This seems like fair compromise to me.
Just don't let him know that we're nearby.
Okay.
Because otherwise he'll leave town again with Bex.
If he's innocent and it's all was an accident, why would he then leave town if he knows we're coming for a conversation?
Maybe he's scared of you.
You are very scary, Grumpfel.
I've been told that many times. I must confess it. This befuddling and uncle-like exterior is one of my greatest facades and subterfuges. And then he's just going to wander back over to the fire and make a coffee.
It's the look of disappointment that wounds the most.
He's going to turn around and wink and smile and then turn back and go back over to the fire.
So with that, is there anything else that you're wanting to do prior to getting to Wildport?
Drink my bloody coffee.
Anyone else?
How many days have we got left?
At this stage, there's probably a couple of days left.
Okay, every day I'm going to annoy Lord Ethelway with more updates just about shit that we've passed on the road.
Really cool mushrooms.
Seeing what he's doing, what he's had for dinner, what the weather's like, all that sort of stuff.
And each time you do that, you get a polite reply.
Apart from that, Tiernan will be practicing one of his little devices he's got on hand with Disguise Self to only change the color of his skin and nothing else.
Okay.
He's only... should be after a couple of days, he should get it successful. But you guys see his skin will suddenly turn green. He's wrong. And try again, then it goes purple. He's like, ah! But he eventually gets it to just go like a very tan.
Okay.
Cartesian tan. So he looks like a normal elf.
Yep. Cool. Awesome.
And
Anything else from anyone?
Any more success with Tatiana?
What do you mean?
Has she come to a point where she can not so much hit her up with questions, but just have a sort of a conversation with her?
Yeah, so probably later on that day, after she's had a bit of a nap and had a little bit more to eat, she seems to be significantly perkier and with it, and will engage in sort of a simple conversation. She still is obviously somewhat upset, but definitely not in the state that she was prior.
Can I just? Oh, you.
No, you go.
No. Mine's after. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, okay. Well, the main question that Tiernan will try talking to her. Basically, the very first thing out of his mouth would be, do you have any family or friends in Wildport that we can get in touch for you?
I mean, my best friends were those that I lost on the road. I don't have any family in Wildport, but I mean, I've got a home. I've got the rest of. There are other fair folk that I know that I can talk with, but honestly, right now, I just want to get home.
Well, we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Sorry, who are the fair folk?
The fair folk. So the fair folk, they're members. Well, members isn't maybe the right word. They're people who live predominantly in Wildport, who have developed an appreciation for the Fae. Like myself, I greatly respect and admire what the Fae can do. I think they are a truly beautiful, intriguing group of individuals who, I mean, choose to spend as much time with as I possibly can. I mean, they're truly, truly fascinating and fun. So much fun.
See, whimsy.
Yeah. Well, the only Fae we've met was Larry, but that's another conversation. We've never been to Wildport before. This is our first time. Anything that we can expect? You know what we could,
I mean, if you've never been to Wildport before, so the first thing to probably be aware of is that if you decide to go into the court, you need to be aware that the Accords are not in place in the court. That is purely a realm of the Fae. So if you go in there, don't expect to be protected by the Accords. Now, in saying that, the courts are quite easily the most fun and interesting place in all of Wildport.
Oh, I mean, so anyone can go. Anyone can join. Anyone can go.
Anyone can go in and out of the courts. Absolutely. Oh. Well, I mean, some people go in and never come out. Some people, like myself, will go in and out on a fairly regular basis. Some people will stay away. They find them distasteful, and it depends on which court you kind of go to as well. They're all a little bit different. But
so there's not like one court. It's like many courts or something.
Yes, there's 4.
Oh. And are they like a king, queen situation with the hierarchy, or?
No, they're more courts is. So there's 4. So there's the Melody of Stars, there's the Opera of Flowers, there's the Hymn of Wine, and there's the Chant of Frost. Each of them, think of them like, and you can see she's like perking up the more she talks about this. Think of them like a never-ending party that you go. Each one's slightly different in its sort of in its themes or its flavoring. They each have definitively a ruler, and the 4 of the rulers there form the chorus, which is what rules the Fae part of Wildport. But just amazing, so much fun. I mean, you have to be careful in there, of course. I mean, one wrong step and you may never come out ever again, but that's also kind of some of the fun of it as well.
Oh, okay. Should I? Oh, I see you mentioned the Hymn of Wine.
Yes.
My friends don't like me drinking too much. I seem to get into a little bit of trouble. Should I be careful in that one?
I mean, you should be careful in all of them. I mean, the Hymn of Wine is certainly the most decadent, debaucherous, shall we say? If you're a fan of the pleasures of the flesh, so we say, foods, wines, maybe other things, then absolutely the Hymn of Wine is where you would go.
Okay. I don't suppose you could recommend a decent inn in Wildport?
I mean, there's a few. If you're wanting somewhere that's close to the courts, you could go to the Outside Inn. There's also the Cat's Claw, but that's sort of further on the outskirts of the city, more around the great. Around the gatehouse.
Well, which one would you recommend for us?
For you? I mean, I don't really know you. I mean, why are you going to Wildport? You haven't told me that.
Oh, we're sort of on a bit of a trip. We have some people who we wish to meet up with that we haven't seen in oh geez, how long have we been traveling? A number of weeks now.
And whereabouts are they staying?
You know, I think they have been joining the Hymn of Wine a bit, to be honest. I think they enjoyed that one over the other. I honestly don't know other apart from the Hymn of Wine. So maybe they are a member of the Fair Folk as well. Like I said, I haven't seen them in a number of months.
I mean, if they're a member of the Fair Folk, I may know who they are. I mean, I don't know all of the members of the Fair Folk. There's certainly a fair few in Wildport, but I mean, if you're happy to tell me their names, I might know who they are and where you could find them.
Well, there's Aphalas. Do you know him?
Anyone by the name Athalas? No.
Well, that was the main one that I knew. They're friends of friends. You know how it is?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're looking at venturing into the courts, I would suggest probably going to the outside inn.
Okay.
Also,
I believe I was also told about a tavern called Fey Touched.
Sorry,
Have you heard of that one?
Called Fey Touched?
Yeah.
No, never heard of that. No.
Okay, well, it sounds like a very exciting place. Can't wait till we get there. And sorry if I keep asking questions. I just like to learn about a place before I go somewhere. You know, better be prepared because I'm a bit of a introvert, so to speak. I don't get out much.
That's fine. I mean, I mean, you've saved me from that creature. It's the least I can do. Also, just, I mean, as a side note, if you do decide to go into the courts, and she kind of casts a look around everyone who's sort of in the back of the wagon. She goes, "You might want to think about improving your standard of dress. Like the courts is not some rough and tumble dockside tavern that you just go to wearing, this. I can recommend Courting the Fae. It's a wonderful little clothing store which would be able to outfit you in the highest of fashion, and you'll at least blend in the courts as you are. I mean, you'll stand out, and honestly, standing out in the courts is, for those of you who aren't Fae, probably not a great situation to be in, especially to start off with anyway.
Oh, well, I think these are more of our traveling clothes. We haven't really we've been on the road for weeks, so we haven't really had a chance to really stop.
Well, I mean, if you've got better clothes, then amazing. But I'm just saying that it's definitely not the kind of place that you go into underdressed, shall we say?
I'll take that under advisory. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Well, apart from that, I guess, yeah. Is there anything else you could tell me about Wildport? Like, obviously it's a port. Do the ships go? Do the ships go everywhere, or just on the eastern coast?
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to do with docks, to be honest. I mean, I know there's a fair amount of trade that goes down to Kandahar's Landing and sometimes even all the way down to Canterwell. Northwards, I'm not sure. There's probably some who might go north, although I'm not sure how far.
Okay.
I mean, like there's the Oar and Barnacle. That's the tavern that's down at the docks. If you're wanting to know more about who's going where, you could always go and inquire there. I'm sure they know probably or have a good idea of where a lot of the captains travel to.
Fantastic. I guess the last thing is I'm a bit. Do you know if they have any decent libraries? or places I could possibly research up on a few things, or perhaps information guilds that I could possibly make use of while I'm there?
You heard of an information guild before? I mean, it depends on. I mean, no libraries or anything like. It's not. Wildport's not that kind of city, really. I mean, I suppose it also depends on the sort of information that you're after. I mean, is there something in particular, or are you just wanting to learn more about like the city or the area? Or...
More of a case of I like to read up on things. In this case, it'd be the Fae before I make a fool of myself in front of them, because, like you said, I'd hate to stand out.
Then no, you're not going to find any books about the Fae there. Unfortunately, it's not the customs and the habits of the Fae is not something which is really sort of written down and recorded in Wildport.
Okay. Anyone else? I shouldn't completely take all of your time. I'm quite certain other members, some of my friends, have a word for you as well.
Do you know if we require a petition to attend, and do we need an introduction?
Or
attending any of the courts to seek information?
No, you can just wander on in.
Good to know. I know that in some of my travels, some places you can indeed walk in and just inquire. Others you need petitions or a reference, or you need an escort of introduction.
No. I mean, it's like I said, this is more courts. I think you're potentially sort of confusing it with like the courts that you get more amongst the non-Fae. Like it's a name for an area of the city more than anything else.
But clarity nonetheless will assist what we when we search. Good to know.
So, is there anything else anyone is wanting to do before you all finally arrive at Wildport?
I think I would. Oh, sorry, you
No,
go
you-
first.
no,
Kate.
no.
Kate.
So,
Can I just confirm basically that I basically just want to confirm that like each watch and things like that nothing weird has happened overnight when she like that. I just want to do a check. That's all. It's not meant to be a big thing. I just wanted to
no,
check.
everything is fine. Like you get 3 nights of the free food, and then after that, everything is remarkably peaceful and quiet.
Okay, thank you.
Emily.
I think immediately following that conversation, and when we're approaching Wildport, I would just remind everyone, hey, just a reminder, I have been to Wildport before, and the court is really scary, and we should probably avoid it, because not everyone comes back from there, and it's run well. Look. It's just not a good place, and it's like Fae land, and I just would really recommend it's not something we want to probably step too deeply into.
Wait a minute, you've been to Wildport already?
I literally told you guys this like yesterday, or the day before, or like 3 days ago.
Was this the massive conversation you guys were having outside the inn?
No, this was when we were traveling. And then I also told you about the chorus, and I told you about how the fair folk, they dress up like the Fae and they wear these really elaborate masks. And yeah, there's something called the Accord. Look, if you step into Fae territory, you're not protected by the Accords. So the Fae can just do whatever they want. So the court, which is ruled by Fae, they can just do whatever they want. It's not governed by anything else but them.
In Tiernan's defense, it does feel like that conversation happened very long time ago. Like,
Oh no, I'm not
like
offended.
in an entirely different year. Even it does feel very much like that. But yes, of course, I
No, I'm
remember
not offended.
all
I'm
of these
like
things.
the middle child of a bunch of people who don't use magic, so they just like listen to things I say and go, "Oh, okay, there she is again."
Is
So I'm
this
used to it.
Oh, it's not that B. It's just that the last
No,
week
I'm
has
just
been
using
very
it as a
weird.
comparison.
is this conversation sans Tatiana? Is she not a
Yeah,
part
were
of
you
this
saying that all in
conversation?
front of her?
No, this is clearly not Delgrim's voice. This is a question to probably be then initiating the combo. So if you raise that while she's still here,
Look,
or separately.
I mean,
I
unless you
didn't
guys,
specify,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
and
it's also you're on a cart. It's not
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
that many places to have that chat. Like
We
I'm
Yeah.
sitting in the driver's
Walking
seat, but that's the only
alongside
And
reason
also,
why.
there's
it.
been a lot of conversations, Tatiana, that are
Yeah.
just like so. Like, I guess I just assume I don't know you guys that well. I'm just assuming like that you're all a group at this point. Like,
so like absolutely, like Tatiana would be sitting there and would probably at this point have a slightly bemused look on her delicate elven features as B repeats this.
Okay, in which case Delgrim will kind of put his body in between Tatiana and B, pull out his bag of holding, and reach in and just go, "It's okay. If we get in too much trouble, I have something that might help us bully our way through these situations." And he'll just pull out the decapitated head of the creature and just kind of wiggle it around a bit and then put it back into the bag.
So,
I think
the
I
first,
would
so hold on. The first thing you notice with that is it absolutely reeks.
Correct.
Fine. I'm used to magical, things that sometimes don't smell too good, So
Tiernan's
that's
like,
fine.
who farted? Jeez.
Anyway,
Step out next time. Jeez.
Delgrim looks at Miera.
immediately following you pulling the head out of the bag, I will pull my cool dagger out and be like, "Well, it's a good thing I know how to use this."
You do.
And then I'll put it back.
So, is there anything else that you guys are wanting to do prior to arriving at Wildpool?
No.
Grumpfel will just do his thing, coffee, read the book, help out, drive the wagon, help out.
Cool. Perfect. Love it. So, about mid-morning of the 6th day, you guys, the forest begins to thin out, and ahead you can see off in the distance a tall wall surrounding what appears to be a very, very large city. Smaller than Dalian's Rest, but bigger than Harrow. The other thing that very much stands out is that the forest kind of pretty much goes all the way up to the walls, but has thinned out fairly considerably. But even from further back, you can see further back, probably close to the center of the city, what appears to be a very tall globe, or sort of spherical shell, which spans a large chunk of the center of the city. Almost like a snow globe. And you can see very soft, gentle, swirling colors across the surface of this huge, huge dome that peeks over the top of these walls. It appears that there is only the direction you're coming. You can see there is a large set of gates which provide access into the city. And there is a small collection of guards also at the gates.
I did not have much luck last time I tried to talk to people guarding town we entering. Perhaps Miera, Rowan, does one of you want to have a little chat just in case I put my foot in mouth?
Yeah, I'm happy. We just want to ask them to come in, I guess,
I
right?
assume so, but I don't know what the rules are here. B, is there like secret password to get into city? Do we have to pay certain tithe, sacrifice small child? Like what the?
Hey, Dungeon Master. Do I know if there's anything I need to do to enter this city? Because
when you
when I
left-
entered, it was stealthily, right?
Yeah, look, I mean the way you got in here was not through this gate. You left.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
left
yeah.
through this
I'm aware.
gate. So no, but look, I mean Tatiana, who is sitting there, just kind of gives you guys a bit of a weird look and goes, "No, you can just enter. It's not the end of the world." You can see that the road about half a mile before it gets to the gate actually splits off and a branch heads off to the south as well.
What is down that way?
She goes, "Oh, that's I mean that just leads further south into Tulith, down around the edges of Fairfair."
Which is just the southern part of that forest, is it, Ham?
Yeah,
Memory.
but it goes off at a southwest, sorry, southeast direction. She's just like, yeah, that just heads off towards the other cities of Tulith, and then further south down to Kandahar's Landing, and yeah.
Excellent.
Rowan's gonna look at everybody and just say, "So are we going through the gate or not going?" Like she's sitting like with the horses, being like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm
go through
good to
the
go.
gate.
Okay. Because she's in the driver's seat, for want of a better phrase. She's just gonna chip down to the guards and just be like, "Sorry, I just need to I've been told to come through. I don't." She's like playing dumb.
Sorry, was that to the guards? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you roll up to these guards, and you can see now that there's 5 of them. You can see 3 of them appear to be human. One of them appears to be a satyr, and there is a pixie sitting on the shoulder of the satyr. As the cart rolls up, one of the humans just steps forward and goes, "What's your business here in Wildport?"
I was told to bring the cart to the place, so I did. And then she like flashes like a massive smile, just like, "I'm doing what I'm told, man." That's the which technically speaking, it's not a lie.
So like you're here for trade.
I don't know. I got told to bring the cart here, and I would find out more when I got here. So I'm here.
Right. Do you know where you need to go in the city?
What's the name of the inn I'm supposed to take the cart to? She's like yelling back into the back of the wagon.
Outside Inn.
Oh, that's right. The outside inn, thank you. He's the one who drives when I'm not driving.
Right. All right. So to get to the outside inn, and he just starts to give you directions. Go down here. You go through the gatehouse. Make sure you get to the Bailey, and then take a right here. And he gives you some directions.
Cool. Because I have an Outlander background, I'm just going to remember all of those directions, if that's cool with you.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's
Right.
yeah.
Grumpfel will sit back up next to Rowan because he does have the Outlander background and will be able to remember the.
I do have the Outlander background.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I am a wanderer. Like that's that's legitimately she does.
Sorry, I thought you said because I don't have.
No,
Well,
okay,
cool.
She wanders around and round and round and round and round.
She can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around me because that's what they're just telling me, and so it's very easy for me to do.
So the guard turns around and just shouts out for the gates to open, which they rumble inwards. Outwards, I should say. And you drive your wagon into the city of Wildport.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna wave at them as she tries. Thank you.
And a couple of them wave back. The little pixie gives you a little wave. Sorry, Cass, were you going to say something?
No, I was sneezing.
Okay, cool.
New sneeze count.
Sneeze count.
Sneeze. No, what
is that
sneeze
a
what?
Cass sneeze count?
I don't think it specifies, does it?
Only difference is I'll only do it once.
Wow. Ever. Delgrim will just quickly pop it as well. Wow, that was much easier than that time we rolled up into a town holding a minor noble and drug lord prisoner.
Why? That was really easy. They just took him for us.
That they had attitude, Tiernan. It felt difficult to me.
Rowan just mutters to herself, sometimes it pays just to be nice to people, and it's really not that difficult if you're just nice and smiley and kind. And she's just driving the cart. She's doing exactly what the directions to the outside in were, but just muttering to herself in a sometimes you just have to be nice. Because this is not the first time she's been sassed for being nice and honest and kind.
So inside the walls, the city of Wildport is far more colorful than any other city that you guys have been to so far. There's splashes of red, oranges, blues, and yellows. Banners, the way the buildings are painted, it's not garish. It's just very bright and exuberant. The streets are comparatively busy. You can see a number of people going about their day-to-day business. You see very small groups, not a lot, but the occasional sort of group of fair folk making their way through the streets. You see a couple of open-air carriages as well. Again, with some of those also containing the fair folk. They're elaborate impersonation masks on, always dressed in beautiful, fine clothing. There is a vibe of a sense of sort of vibrancy through the city. You notice occasionally a pixie or a sprite will zoom past down the street. You see other strange looking creatures, small, sort of twisted, not necessarily goblin-like, but strange beasts which are maybe smaller than a lot of you, bipedal, running around. It's odd-looking other creatures, things with feathered wings. It is just this deluge of sights that for most of you have never actually experienced before. Now that you're within the city walls, you also notice that the dome in the center of the city is much larger than what you probably realized from the outside. It stretches high up into the sky, but the swirling of the colors on it are very slow and almost sort of hypnotic in the way that they move. And with the directions that were provided to Rowan, you are making your way towards that dome.
Tiana, is there any place you'd like us to drop you off?
She says, look, I mean, if you're going to the outside, and I mean, often there's a few of the fair folk often congregate there early evening before they go into the courts at night. So, I mean, I'm happy to just travel with you to there, and I can probably find some associates who can help me out from there. Otherwise, we've got to go all the way to the gardens where my house is, and I mean, you've already done a lot for me just to get me here, so I'm happy to just go to the outside in with you.
Okay. What are the gardens? Are they part of the court? One of the courts?
No, the gardens is the part of the town where a lot of the fair folk make their homes. Beautiful part of the town. Lots of trees and beautiful gardens. Funnily enough, it's a beautiful part of the city.
What is this giant dome?
That's the court.
Yeah, but what is it? What is it made of? What is shiny substance on dome? It's kind of mesmerizing. I don't know if I like it.
It's, as far as I know, it's some kind of fey magic. I don't know what it's made of, but to get into the courts, you have to walk. There's certain sections where you can walk through it.
And so when she mentions fey magic, Delgrim will kind of look to be. Do you have any idea what this magic is?
I mean, to me, it just sounds like hooly-dooly magic stuff.
And Delgrim will kind of nod. It's like, yeah, good get. I see what you did there. Look, I don't know how these things work necessarily. I don't have the words or understanding to be able to explain the wibbly wobbly things that you do.
I'll simplify it for you if you like. And I mean this with actually the utmost respect. And that is that I know what I know. Right? So, and what I know came from books. And the strand of what I know is inherited from the magic that my dad knew. So it's a very specific, arcane, time-based magic. It's not, I don't know every type of magic that ever has to existed and how it works and what it's made of and who can do it. I only know very specific types of magic because I didn't finish all of my studies.
You could have very easily just said you don't know and left it there. But
okay, well, okay.
Thank you for that explanation, though.
It just means that you don't need to ask me again in the future.
I'll probably ask you again in the future. You never know. One thing I have learned since coming to the surface and adventuring across these lands, even if you have very narrow fields of experience, sometimes they can be applied to completely different things.
I might know more if we get closer, but I recommend that we don't, is what I would say, because again, there's literally no reason for us to get in more trouble than what we need to.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I'd like to not die. If that's okay.
So the wagon continues to roll through the streets until finally you find yourselves, what probably feels like only maybe a block or two away from the edge of the courts. And ahead you can see to the side of the road a fairly large establishment, plain looking on the outside, painted itself in a very vibrant kind of green. Outside the front door, there is a large sign hanging from above it, and just written on it is the word outside. The front door currently stands open, and you can see a pair of fair folk, what appears to be a man and a woman, arm in arm, walk through into the front, walk from the road inside.
They walk inside, outside.
They walk inside, the outside in.
Excellent. This can hurt both mine and Delgrim's brains so much. Thank you.
Guys, I just picked this inn because it was one of the inns that Tatiana recommended. Did you guys have a different preference? Oh?
Only one of us has ever been here before, Tin, and I don't know that...
Well, she's shaking her head at me, so I guess it's okay.
Where did you stay?
I didn't. I got out of here really quick.
Understandable.
Need I remind you, I was, and I say this part much quieter, I was escaping the Empire.
Wait, you're from the Empire?
What did I say? Don't tell Tiernan about this
Oh,
thing.
shit.
Don't tell Tiernan what.
Oh no, nothing.
Tiernan, if everybody, she's just gonna she's like calling back, but in a she's in a noisy street, so this is not going to be something that's overhearable.
That was an Emily slip, not even a B slip.
And she's just gonna call them, Tiernan, don't forget, doesn't matter where someone's from, and she's just gonna keep carting them along, but in a very this is a reminder that you're not supposed to judge people from where they're from, and continue carting along.
Let us get a room, Tiernan. We can have this conversation once we are outside of earshot of random people in the world who might hear things that we don't necessarily want them to hear.
Okay, but I do have a few questions.
Oh no.
That is understandable. Those questions may or may not be answered.
No, clearly not in the street. I understand that.
I'm glad that this is something you understand.
Miera's just watching this and smiling. she knows
Rowan
what's coming from.
Rowan is writing, shaking her head in we should have known this would happen eventually.
So Heath, just because you may have missed it, B just accidentally outed the fact that she's from the Empire to Tiernan.
Just to Tiernan?
Oh no!
Okay. In conversation to Tiernan in front of everyone.
Yeah.
In conversation to Delgrim in front of everyone.
Yeah.
What was Tiernan doing?
I'm just sitting in the car.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I thought you said Tiernan.
Everything is gonna be fine, and it's gonna be great.
You thought Tatiana had got a grilling earlier. Just you wait.
So how about that local football club? I hear they're going to do things.
Okay, I've got my defense mechanism right here.
Apparently applies invisibility.
Hamish?
Yo.
Is Wildport considered a destination for Catharbal?
No.
No. Okay. Just refresh my memory. Where do they go on the eastern trip? Do they go through the Fayfair?
Nope. They don't go anywhere even remotely close to there. So you would go way, way, way down south.
Okay. Yep.
No, absolutely. This is a part of the world that you would have zero experience in.
Oh, good, because I could have sworn it was a circle, so I'm getting confused, but that's okay.
Hamish, are we ending the session here? Is this where we end? Is this the end of the session?
So the cart pulls up in front of the outside inn.
And we yeet B off the cart and then turn around and head no.
You rebels, you Empire scum.
I assume that we're all about to unload off the cart. Rowan would like to catch Tiernan as he's getting out of the cart if he's going to do so.
Okay. Before Tiernan's even thinking about hopping out of the cart, he's going to cast Disguise Self on himself to change his skin color, so it's no longer a blue.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys you would all be familiar with me doing this over the course of the last few days, so it's not shocking.
Yep.
What color are you now?
A very tanned elf.
Yeah. Vibrant pink. So Rowan, you grab Tiernan before he after disguising himself.
She's just gonna say, just remember that there's lots of different types of people from different places. Don't judge someone based on where they're from, or otherwise you'd be in trouble and you know it too. And she's saying it in a very you are the stranger in a stranger's land. She is a stranger in a strange land. Stop it.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Rowan. Who are we talking about? I'm not going to treat the Fae any different.
She's going to shake her head at you and go look after the horses because, yeah.
That's something I said?
So Delgrim will start taking stuff past him. It's okay, Tiernan, come on, let us go inside. We'll have this conversation. It'll be fine.
So is everybody apart from Rowan? Are you staying outside with the cart and the horses, or?
I'm gonna sort out the cart and the horses and like sort of like she does because that's kind of a job that's fallen to her.
Yep, that's cool.
Like,
So everybody else piling on into the inn.
Pretty much.
I am rushing into the inn.
Okay.
At the lightning speed. Yep.
Everyone on the outside.
Grumpfel's gonna stay with Rowan in the cart.
Okay, cool. So most people who are outside are going inside the outside inn, except for the people who are staying outside the outside inn.
I fucking hate you.
It's too late for this shit, Hamish. Come on.
it's like 8:30. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're all going
Hamish,
outside.
Hamish, your insight is outstanding.
Outstanding. Excellent. So inside the outside
The
inn,
inn. Inside the inn.
it is a bustling, a loud environment. There are already a number of people inside, predominantly non-Fae. You can see off in one corner of the large common room, there appears to be a small collection of fair folk sitting at a table partaking in some drinks. Behind the large bar, you can see a hobgoblin, tall, deep red skin. Hair is long and in a high ponytail which falls down below his waist. And he's got large golden rings hanging from his ears. And he's wearing a deep blue tunic. And you can see as he comes around from the bar with like a platter of food, and he's got a thick girdle on with a number of small bells hanging from it, which jingle as he walks. It's got a very big, welcoming smile, and you can see there's a few other hobgoblins who appear to be sort of helping out with serving people. As he kind of taking this platter of food, he sees you all. He goes, "Oh, welcome, travelers, to the outside inn. Make yourselves welcome. I'll be with you in just a minute." And he sort of scoots through this crowd of people delivering food and drinks.
How many rooms do we want?
Depends on how pricey the rooms are.
Depends on how mad we all are as well, I guess.
What do you mean mad?
I don't know. I'm a little scared.
What are you scared of, B?
Nothing?
Again, no, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. Everyone just be chill about it. It'll be fine. We'll get some
But it's
room.
really warm outside.
Yes, it is very warm outside. Who is happy to bunk up with who in rooms?
I'm used to
don't mind.
sharing, so I don't mind.
Rowan would usually share with either Miera or B, but she is outside, so but that's just a normal state of affairs. So just if that decision is going to be made inside, that is information.
Well, maybe we should figure out how expensive the rooms are, and then we have to figure out how many people have to stay in how many rooms.
As you say that, a voice off to one side goes, "Hi!" And you look, and there's another one of the hobgoblins. This is a younger woman, probably barely out of her teens, slightly sort of chubby with hair in a short ponytail. She's got big dimples, a friendly smile, and she's wearing this bright blue dress. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Pippi. Are you wanting drinks or food? Are you wanting
And rooms.
rooms? Absolutely.
Yeah.
How many rooms do you want? Go, quick, come over to the bar." You're sort of standing in the doorway, and she starts to sort of like hustle you all towards where the bar is. "Come, quick. Almost, yeah. Move, come on."
I guess we're going to the bar.
How many rooms are you after?
How much do they cost?
6 silver a
And-
room.
How many do they sleep?
We can fit 2 per room.
Okay, well, yeah, that's easy. Then we just need 3 rooms, right?
3 rooms, so that'll be 18 silver.
Oh,
pieces.
wait, Tatiana as well?
You see, like, Tatiana has actually, like, she followed you guys in, and she's already split off, and you can see she's wandered over to where the fair folk are.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. 3 rooms. And I'll just like pull out the silver and put it straight down on the bar.
Oh, well, there's. You want to share a room with. Who's sharing what room? Look, I'll just happily have
I
my
don't
own room.
care.
It's fine. It's fine.
So 4 rooms? Sure, I mean, that's 24 gold pieces.
I
silver
still-
pieces. Sorry.
I still
yeah.
just slap out the exact
Inflation.
amount.
Hang on, silver pieces. You said
Yeah,
silver
silver pieces.
pieces.
Sorry, I
Inflation.
misspoke. My fault.
I will still just slap down the amount that it is. That's fine.
It
She
is
got-
very reasonable prices, but please, B, let Grumpfel pay.
No, it's fine. I've already put the money on the counter. It's rude to take it back.
Yep. And Grumpfel's outside anyway, so.
Also that.
Maybe Delgrim knew that and said that anyway.
No, but I do just like absolute question to restore my memory. The money that Isaway gave us, Grumpfel's holding on to, yeah? Just as a general remembrance. I'm pretty sure.
Don't recall.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, you lost it all.
Oh,
We got
no.
200 golds worth of
Everyone's
gems.
broke.
Was it like I'm fuzzy on the details? Was it given to Grumpfel? If it was given to Grumpfel, then yeah, he's got it. But
That was
I think
Delgrim's
you were holding
recommendation.
on to it.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, well,
But,
totally.
but then
And
it was not
gems.
like
It was
Oh, yeah,
200 golds worth of gems.
Yeah, you're right.
But
And a simple
300
map of
but,
the empire.
but no 300 gold piece diamond.
That.
No, sadly not.
Okay, where are
Perhaps you can
these?
buy one.
Where are these rooms? We'll take all of our gear.
We also have like drinks and food delivered to the rooms. Is that okay?
Oh,
that a
we
thing?
don't normally like take drinks and food to the rooms because it
I
just.
feel like you just could though.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
sure there's a table down here somewhere.
yeah,
I
no,
could fit all
there's
of us.
probably some spare tables. I mean, we don't generally do food and drinks in the rooms because people are often not very responsible and get drunk and make a mess, and I don't like cleaning it up.
But
So-
could
Is
you,
that
if
not
we
what
were
a security
careful?
deposit is?
Yeah. We'll be careful. It's just we've had a long day on the road and there's a lot of people in here and we just need some peace and quiet to eat our food and digest it and stuff.
There's like a table right there.
Make a persuasion check, Miera.
Does she get advantage because I'm also attempting to?
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's persuasion. 25?
936. God fucking damn it.
Hmm.
She goes. Look, normally we don't. Let me go and talk with Grazen. I'm sure we can probably organize something.
Willing to like tip you as well if that helps.
Sure. How much?
No, like you go have your chat and I'll determine how much the tip should be after that.
Yeah, but you know, if you tip me now, then maybe I don't even need to have the chat.
How much do you want?
How much are you willing to pay?
I am but a simple drow with not much money.
I'll give you 10 silver.
She's like, done, sold, excellent. So we can, mead, wine. We've got some delicious like mushroom cakes and roast veggies and some goat cheese stew and stuff that we can bring through to your rooms.
Do you have any spider milk?
No, who milks spiders?
I don't believe I've ever tried mead. Is it nice?
I mean, ours is amazing. It's meadow sweet mead. Very good, very strong.
Oh, is it strong?
Yeah, strong. Yeah.
Probably should avoid it then.
He'll take 2, and we'll also get around for ourselves and our 2 friends outside.
So I'm sorry. How many drinks all up?
That many.
That many? I don't know. Look. It's very loud in here. I'm having trouble concentrating. So what? There's 8. Was that right?
Well, 8 is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels like there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
And then you want an extra For Tiernan, that's
Tiernan
7.
and I are both going to have 2.
Oh,
Can
okay,
we just
great.
have
Yeah,
some
8.
jugs and maybe some cups would be good. So like jugs of drink.
You
rather
could bring
than
a barrel
separate.
up if you want.
I'm happy with just trying the mead, and you said something about mushroom. Okay, I'll just take this table over here. They're acting really weird at the moment.
Okay,
Not
you
having a
eat down here
table.
by yourself. We'll all go to the room.
Tiernan, you are absolutely coming. You're not getting out of helping us take our things to these rooms. Don't think that is how this is going to play out. You're going to come with us.
Oh, okay. I don't know why we're eating in the rooms, but okay.
Because it's so much more comfortable.
Plus, it's easier to avoid people.
Plus, it's more comfortable.
So like so probably so like yeah, so like so all up for if it's food for everybody, it's that'll be 6, 8, 10. That's 12 silver pieces for the food, and for the drinks you're wanting 8. So 40. That'll be 5 silver pieces for all of the drinks as well.
And Delgrim will fish into his little coin pouch and provide that amount of silver, was it?
Yep. So yeah, I'll get some help to bring everything to your rooms. Please don't make a mess. I'll get in trouble with.
Are we all just going to be in one room for a bit? Is that what's happening? Are we like convening somewhere, or are we just going to our own places
at this point in time?
I feel like just deliver it to the first room, and then if we're not there, you can deliver it to the others after. That's your job to figure out. Sorry.
I'm gonna bring everything to one room, and
That's
I'll put
fine.
it there, and then you can, or your friends can work out what's going on.
Great.
And she kind of the big smile has faded somewhat. I'll be back in a minute. And she just directs you, like there's a door off to the side of the common room. She goes, just through there's to where all the hallway to the rooms are. If you've got a horse or a carriage or anything, there's some place just next door to stable it all, and that'll be fine.
I feel like Rowan has figured out where to stable it outside herself. Yeah, she's just like.
Yeah. So with that, she vanishes off to start to get you food and stuff. Who again, for sort of expediency's sake, Rowan, Grumpfel, are you guys heading inside? Is there anything you wanting to do outside, or are you going to join the rest of the group?
Yeah, we'll is there stables side back somewhere?
Yep, Rowan's already got that sorted out. So the two of you sort of see where there's some stables and stuff. We were able to see where the
and I dare say there'll be someone there. We can go in, put all the make sure the wagon's in there, the horses in there,
all of it's fine.
all the guff.
Yep, that's all fine. And you find yourselves inside. Are you all piling into one of the rooms? Is that, or
certainly at the outset, I think Delgrim will pull B, and Tiernan and Miera, assuming that they're going to kind of enter the room first with the stuff that they've already got as they're sussing out these rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop my travel bags in my room first.
Cool. Then it's Tiernan's room that this conversation will happen in, because Delgrim will follow him immediately, and beckon the other two to come along.
I think it's his room.
Tiernan wants his own room, though.
So just again to maybe help a little bit with getting the party to scatter to the winds here and we're across stuff. Unless there's any objections, the other two kind of see you guys hustling everyone around.
Yeah.
And all end up in a singular room, of which whose it is doesn't matter at this point in time. People drop off stuff, whatever it is. But you're all now in a single room, which has got, it's very simple. There's like 2 beds. At each end of each bed, there's a small chest for you to be able to put, like, your belongings and stuff like that. There's a very, very small sort of writing desk, and that's pretty much it. So it's not super kind of comfy or anything like that. It's very standard.
B will be like, "Wow, these rooms are really nice. You've got a chest and a writing desk. Anyway, this was really nice."
And we have someone from the Rendarian Empire here, Tiernan, and I explicitly said not to share this information with you based on your reaction to Gerlach when he arrived and the war between the Empire and the place you are from. It just seemed to me like a more sensible approach to keep this information from you.
Why?
Because I don't understand a lot of the decision-making processes inside your brain. I didn't want you to create beef with B here who can guide us in the place that we are going to.
Okay.
Is that the only reason I'm here? Just as a guide?
Absolutely not. You stabbed and you fucked up that creature. That's very impressive.
Okay.
Well, okay. First off, Delgrim, I don't appreciate the rest of the group keeping secrets from me. I'm not some.
Oh, to be fair, not everyone knew. It was just a couple of people.
Well, who else here doesn't know that you're from the Empire?
Well, everyone knows now.
Yeah.
That's what matters, right?
And okay, well,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether Grumpfel was privy to the information or not. I can't.
I feel like it
remember.
was just Rowan and I feel like it was just Rowan
Yeah.
and
Just
Delgrim.
Rowan and Delgrim.
okay, well,
Interesting.
no, I don't think we should have. Yes.
I
Grumpfel?
was not aware of
Are
it
you in this
either.
conversation?
Yeah,
I feel like everyone is. Yeah.
everyone's
in
in
it.
the room together
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Unless there is a specific reason that you don't want to be.
I don't think Rowan wants anything to do with the. Like, she's tried to hint to Tiernan to not do anything stupid, but I don't know that she's there because she would be avoiding this particular conversation. Like the
She
plague.
walks into the
to
room,
not-
notices
Like,
the conversation's
no,
happening.
no.
That's fine, and that's fine. If
You do
Rowan-
that and I hand you a key to your room.
Yeah.
See you later.
She's like, I have to go and shower. I am gross from the road and the horses, and she's just gone. Like,
Cool, that's totally fine.
I am not missing this show, so I'm going to sit on the bed cross-legged and just chime in that, yeah, I didn't know either, Tiernan.
Okay. Well, I'm going to walk over and sit in the chair.
To be fair, I really didn't want any of you to know.
Why?
Well, because that's a whole other part of the conversation. Let's deal with this part first.
Well, I guess the first question I have is there any other secrets you are keeping from
Oh,
me?
Tiernan,
Guys?
this is why I did not want you to know.
Yeah?
B is obviously uncomfortable about where she is from and the circumstances under which she left. She is very
It's-
graciously going with us.
That's
back
not the
there.
reason what you just said, Delgrim. You were legitimately concerned from the sound.
I
of it.
didn't want Delgrim to know either. And I didn't want Rowan to know either. But also, someone had to know. And
do you
it
like
wasn't.
them more than us?
No.
Is that what it is?
No, that's.
welcome to
hell.
why Rowan did not want to be here.
No, that's not why. It's because the Rendarian Empire was like a side effect of something I was talking about beforehand that I actively don't want everyone to know.
At this point, Grumpfel's going to come over to where B is. He's going to put both hands out and take both of your hands.
Before I take your hands, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna hesitate.
Yeah.
What's the intention here?
Nothing bad, nothing magical.
Okay, but what are you gonna do?
Just going to say something.
Okay. And she will hesitantly, as someone that uses magic and has seen a bunch of shit happen, she's gonna hesitate and then hold out her hands.
Okay, so Grumpfel takes hands and he just looks at her and goes, "From what I have seen, I believe your heart to be true and pure and light. I welcome you to be part of our group."
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. Oh wow, okay, I didn't really expect that. Thanks. Cool. Anything else we need to talk about, or can I go to bed now? Tiernan, do you want to just get whatever you have to say out of the way? Because I feel like I'm about to get berated.
What for?
I don't know.
You clearly left the Empire for some reason. You clearly don't want to talk about the Empire. I don't blame you. But if we're heading to the Empire, you sound as though you have a wealth of knowledge that would be incredibly valuable to getting into it.
Oh, the getting in part is not gonna be easy or pleasant at all, if we can even do it.
Well, either way, I'm glad you're
Gonna look at Delgrim for like a how much do I say sort of vibe. Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Whatever. Okay, great. So let me tell you the story of my life.
well, just before you do, I don't hate the Empire. I'm a little bit surprised that Delgrim thinks I hate them.
I would if I were you.
That's not what
Or
I said.
not even you. I would hate the Empire in general. It's really fucking scary. It's a terrifying place.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never been. All I know is that my people tried to stop being absorbed by the Empire, and we succeeded. So
it's probably good for your people.
Yeah.
To be incredibly fair, I'm not going to lump in the entire of the Empire because that's not fair. There are good people within the Empire.
It's probably just a bureaucracy or something. Bureaucracy is horrible.
I had friends within the Empire that were nice people. So long story short, went to the Arcane Consortium. Some really bad things happened. And then I decided I needed to leave. And you can't just leave. It's not like a thing that you do from the consortium. You can't really leave. So I made my entire family run away. And that's how we ended up in Delian's Rest. The problem with that is that we had to come through Wildport, and also that there are these scary hound like dog things that can smell arcane magic and will find you within the Empire. And it's specifically designed to make sure that anyone who uses arcane magic isn't subjected to the mage rot and, goes through the trials and stuff like that. So that's going to be a really hard thing for us to do. Yeah. That's the really short version.
That's a lot to process.
It's a lot to live through.
And Isaway had told us about these spellhounds as well, right, Ham?
Gosh, I honestly cannot remember.
Hinted at the fact that there was something, but didn't explicitly tell us what it was, if I remember correctly. Like, possibly because he didn't know.
Yeah, he did not know a huge amount about the Empire, I believe, was the message that was conveyed.
Okay.
The thing that I guess is worrisome for you all traveling with me, or allowing me. Thank you, Grumpfel, for that really welcoming hand-holding. But the thing that puts you all in danger is that there is a group called the Vanator, who are specifically designed to hunt down members of the consortium who have escaped, just like me, or, arcane users that are yet to have been brought to the consortium. So I need to figure out a way that I can get into the Empire without resorting to magic, which is how I would usually disguise myself if I needed to. Because the whole using magic thing could attract the hounds.
Well, I may be able to help in that regard.
Is your magic arcane?
No, he's got makeup.
not.
It's even better.
Excellent.
He's really good with it too.
Wow,
Well,
makeover
I-
episode.
To make you look like a clown.
Yeah.
This is like this is Rendarian's next top model. Like that's what this
Yeah.
is.
Well, I honestly think that with the information you have, B, that we can come up with some sort of plan. My form of magic is not arcane.
Okay, great. You're
So-
safe. Hey Miera, how
I
does
can
your
help.
magic work?
And Delgrim will have been absolutely just staring at Miera through this entire conversation, just trying to get a sense of how she's taking in this information. That once again, her life is immediately going to be in ridiculous amounts of peril with every moment and every step of our collective existence.
And
No pressure.
so my magic's arcane.
Right.
How does it if we don't use the magic, can they still sense?
Yes.
These hounds, do they like sniff out the magic or something?
Yes.
Can they sniff through water?
I mean, I haven't seen them run into the water, but to put it into perspective, I was escaping from. Let me find the town name. I believe it was Mardovia. Mardovia within the Empire, towards Wildport. Basically, I was doing that by boat. So I had to get from the docks to the boat without being seen or sensed by these creatures. Didn't use magic. Relied heavily on the fact that my family are really good at sneaking around, except for really me and my dad. Although we're not terrible at it, we're just not as good. And it was all going fine, and then one of them kind of sensed that we were there, and all of a sudden my sister's like getting chomped at, and we're running, and I'm trying to like drag her towards the boat. It was, yeah, it's really scary.
But you guys
But
were
we
above
weren't
the
using,
water.
yeah, but we were, yeah, that's the closest I've gotten to water with them.
I may have an idea. We need to talk.
We are going to be.
Are we
very
doing that
careful.
now?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably have the ability to, if we throw the two of you overboard on the ship.
I
You
don't think I can
guys-
swim.
Oh no, I can make it so that you guys can breathe underwater. And you
I don't know
could
if that helps the swimming part.
just hang on to the anchor, or
Okay.
to wouldn't potentially that could evade the patrols.
Tiernan,
If you guys-
how is this going to help us when we are on land?
Well, we got to evade the border first.
Border, we already kind of have planned. We're going to
Well, we can just go the reverse way that I went.
we're going to land just outside of the Empire's border and come in from that direction. We are going to be so careful, and we are going to know as much about the area as possible. We are going to do all of the scouting and do all of the sneaky checking of places and things to keep these two as safe as possible while we are there.
All I'm suggesting
Realistically, with like, I don't
Wait,
want to
it's going to turn into Mission Delgrim Possible.
fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Excellent, thank you, Heath. Realistically, has anyone else here been to the Empire before?
we've met someone from the Empire.
Well, from-
Rowan has. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does anyone know if Rowan's been to the Empire?
Rowan has been to a version of the Empire that is the same place that person from version of the Empire we met came from.
Because if we need to,
Not the same here.
right? Because if we need to enter the Empire and we need to go the most confident route traveled, as much as I hate to fucking say this, it's going to be literally the reverse of the route that I went.
Okay.
So we would be going from Wildport into Mardovia. I don't love that. That's fucking terrifying. But at least I know something about the area. I don't know how close that gets us to where we need to go either, but it's somewhere I have familiarity with.
Well,
Stop it, Hamish!
It's very brave of you to risk everything going back into a place you have already escaped from. Thank you.
This entire thing is far bigger than I am.
We are saving the actual world.
Sure.
A thought. These creatures you said that can smell out the arcane.
Mhm.
And you were saying that it extends beyond just simply casting. They can smell the arcane, not just a spell that has been cast.
Oh, at least that's what I think.
Do
Yeah.
you recall if that extends to items that have been enchanted? Because those of us that have helped Esmeralda possess magic items, and if they
Right.
are of an arcane nature, then theoretically we can also be sought out by these creatures.
Okay, hold
This-
on. Let me think for a second. Hamish.
Yes. Hi, I'm Bee's brain. No, items do not fall under the purview of this.
Even if they're enchanted by arcane?
Correct.
Is that like a just for brevity? Is that a continuous thing, or is say like the stuff of the lantern bearer, like you use it to illuminate? Therefore, that's a usage, a casting, or doing something like I can understand if armor is enchanted for protection, it's there and it's constant.
I think if you
Whereas
have
this
to
is an
use a
activation.
spell,
Yeah.
I think if you have to use a spell, that's when
If
it
you have
comes
to use
into
an arcane spell, because I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah, so if-
established that
yeah.
I don't care about this. I can cast as much as I gosh
Yeah.
darn want.
Yeah. So when
So-
it comes to items, if an item has got a spell-like ability or effectively casts a spell, no, it does not. It does not fall under the purview of this.
Grumpfel, the answer is no. That's what my
Grumpfel.
brain just told me.
Grumpfel, you are genius. I know exactly how we're going to sneak both Miera and Bee past any of these.
Everyone into the
Magic
bag of
sniffing.
holding.
I'm not getting in the bag of holding. I'm not
No.
I was literally about to say, if Delgrim's put the bag of holding down while this conversation is going over, Miera would have walked over and started to try and put a foot
Bag of
her
holding
leg
is
into
still
the
on its
bag
head.
of holding.
No, get away from my bag of holding, Miera. Absolutely not. We're going to need to talk to Rowan, and we are
Yes.
going to need Rowan to tell us
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
how the ring works.
Yes. Delgrim. Yes.
Oh yeah. It's a good
And
idea.
with that, we will wrap up tonight's session.
Incredible.
Excellent.
Wow.
Okay. We're gonna do our favorite moments. But I'm gonna let you do them without me, because if I don't go to the toilet right now, there is going to be
We're going to talk so much crap
TMI,
about
TMI.
Hamish.
there is going to be such a terrible accident here. So if you guys want to start talking about your favorite moments, the DM, I need a little sign that
Yeah, go on, Heath. You kick us off.
Give me a half tick to. Brain no work at the moment.
There.
I got to say, Miera trying to crack the whip. That was awesome. That was just enough comedic relief after the battle that I think was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually waiting for it to go,
Real
and
good.
then
The horse is
Hamish
bolting.
goes, "Where near the horses were you standing, Grumpfel?" Ah!
I thought maybe I'd turn into the Dullahan.
Well, you feel the
Horse
item
whip
embed
is
into your
full
hand.
Yeah. I will take itty bitty plates of itty bitty pies that then ended up covering Bee completely in pie juice, which is how she got busted for eating pie.
The absolute terror I felt when you ate a berry given to you by a fae, though,
Yeah.
was like, oh no, oh
Yeah.
no. But no, apparently it was fine and innocent and
That's why she checked it so hard. Like, she ain't stupid. A little bit stupid.
Just eat the food the Fae offer. God.
No.
It's true.
Yuck. I feel like Cass is up next, based on initial overlay selection.
I don't know. There was so many good things this time. I think Grumpfel and his usual being kind to people and welcoming B into the group by offering his hands. It was quite sweet. Suspicious, but sweet.
It's like in the most intimidating way.
Yeah.
Initially,
I was
like,
so convinced it was
"Give
going to
me
be
your
like a
hand."
read
Join me.
read your mind scenario
Inflict
there.
wounds.
By my side, we will rule this galaxy.
The other one was Delgrim thinking it would be entirely appropriate to violently shake an unhinged person in excitement.
You make these pies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a bold choice.
It was a choice. Yeah.
I'm genuinely surprised that she actually made it this far with us. It feels like Ham, like you have tried to get her out of our clutches truly so many times since we met her, and I'm proud of us that we got her
We
here.
went someone that's been driven to the brink. We're going to be like, right, cool. Here's your stop.
But it was
Get out of here.
So yeah.
it was a combination of good ideas from a number of people, which got her to the point where you could do what you did. So,
And I think that's one of my two, I think, favorite moments is that whole kind of sequence there. So with everyone kind of pitching in just little bits and pieces, trying to help this traumatized and terrified woman, bring her back from the brink of nightmares on the inside of her head. That was good fun. And the other one was absolutely Emily just spilling the beans to Tiernan. That was so good.
I so knew you were going to do that eventually, Em.
It was yeah.
Look, hey, here's the thing. I write a lot of notes. I write a lot of in-character notes, and I read them, and then I go, this is fun. Oops.
I had completely forgotten who knew or who didn't know. So when everyone was just like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "Oh shit, that's right."
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Kate. Sorry,
did
Hannah, I
mine.
took over. I did, yeah, but do another one.
Wow.
Okay. I will also take. Can we have a private conversation in this cart where there's only enough space for two of us to sleep? As another favorite moment. My first one, Ham, was Emily giving up the pie game by covering herself in pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome.
I just love how the fairies dropped off the pies, put them down where B and Rowan could see, and even one of them waved directly at it, and the consensus was, are these for us?
Oh,
Or maybe they're for
listen,
someone
Maybe
else.
they were for us. I
Hold
just
on.
was sus that they were like
Hold on.
Fae food.
Have
Fae
you
food,
ever
you
been
know?
walking along the road and had someone wave at you and put down food, and then you just go, well, better eat this, because like
I don't want to say.
It depends on the context
Listen,
of the
I'm not
wave.
going to walk out here to this train line and be like, you know what, the local crackhead who's really nice and just waved at me, like,
It
has put down a
depends.
pie and I better eat it.
Are they
Like,
dressed like a waiter?
Wow.
'Cause then,
Look,
yes.
to be fair, I was very curious to see like whether or not we were going to spend 3/4 of the session with paranoia over whether or not we should eat the pie.
You wrote player paranoia in the chat. I was like, thanks, Ham.
Yeah. You play like you don't want this to happen, but you make it happen.
It was amazing.
You knew what you were doing.
yeah.
And hats off to Ham for giving us an NPC that was probably a throwaway NPC that we embraced and spent most of our boat allocated time this session to helping and nurturing, and he just let us keep going with it.
Look, hey, it's yet another person that you have helped. Who knows where they might help you in the future.
That's
John,
right.
All the
have you had a
NPCs.
favorite moment?
Oh, yeah.
Sort of got two. One is the fact we're barely half an hour into the stream, and Delgrim is already dismembering a body just to learn what it is. I need to get
Corpse.
inside this thing to work it all out.
Yeah.
Very macabre.
Got to learn the cool stuff about stuff.
Mm.
Best way to do it's to cut it open.
And the other one was was actually one from Grumpfel, like the Elven Lullaby. It was a really nice
Yeah,
touch.
that was cool.
Just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere, man.
That was cool. It was really cool.
He's got he does have proficiency in the charisma for him is not highest, and he does but he's got proficiency in performance. So every so often I like to just let him lean into that for narrative and surprise.
Pam, did you have a favourite moment?
Nah, I thought it was all terrible.
Cool, let's
It's
go.
fair.
See ya.
Fuck you, dude. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
No, I really liked the approach you all took to trying to kind of get Tatiana back to a place of functioning again. There were some very creative and interesting ways of approaching that, of which I had not considered as a DM. So it was really cool just seeing how you all went about that. And now I'm very intrigued to see what you guys do and how long you survive or don't survive inside this Space City with the way you crash and bang around.
I'm very concerned about the comment if you go to the court, try not to stand out. Very worried about that.
I did find it really quite amusing, Rowan's whole into the room. Nope, this conversation, I'm out. Nope, not doing it. This is not my jam.
That's fair.
Yep.
And yet, we're gonna need to talk to Rowan. Emily, did you get yours? I don't remember if you've had a moment of favoriteness.
I have two. The first one is let me pull this head out of a bag. What the fuck? What the fuck, guy? That's weird. Why are you doing that?
Trophy worthy.
It's a different take. It's a different take on. Is this your card?
Number two came right at the very end, and it's Miera already having 1 foot in the fucking bag of holding.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I also whilst now that my brain is going a little bit again, shout out to Emily, also known as the Radiant Shadow Law Delivery System.
Yeah.
It's been
I just have this document that you've given me, and I just read off it sometimes.
Oh, you're being awesome. Like it's cool having someone in the party who's got this information.
I think I've extended the amount of information I can physically give, though.
Well, look, it's going to be one of those things that when you guys actually get to the Empire, it'll be like, cool, awesome. Do you know everything about this place? Well, I guess
I do. I know everything about here.
you know everything.
Every time someone says, "Hey B," I go,
I can almost see that look of panic on your face of like, fuck, shit, do I know it? Do I read the document?
because I scroll through the document real quick and then I go,
yeah.
That means you can make shit up, and it has to be true.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you're in
No,
the
I
ultimate
already-
place
hold
of
on.
power. The amount of false memories.
Thea already invented the DM, a god in the universe.
This
I
is
don't
true.
think I need to. I don't think I need to
there's-
invent anything.
And I need to
Yes.
point out, Miera was putting her foot in wrong. You got to cry out "Bagman" 3 times
my
before
Oh,
you
God.
hop into a
Don't.
bag of holding.
Don't.
Just 3 times. That's all you need to do.
No, that's how you summon the bagman, isn't it?
Oh my
Hey
god.
Saz, what was your favorite moment?
We're not gonna talk.
Do it, you coward.
So says
I'll
Chat,
call
say
you
your
that
name,
down
guys.
again.
No,
She's
no,
using-
it's all perfect.
yeah.
Chat. Does anyone have any favorite moments from chat? No. No one's put any in chat. Sad.
I think a chat, much like some of the cast, are running out of steam.
It's bad.
It's 11.
It is. It is.
9.
10 past 11.
Yeah.
It's 9 past midnight.
But exactly. We're in
Wow,
that.
it's Sunday in Melbourne.
Yeah. It's actually Tuesday of last week here, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Tuesday of
Queensland
last
is
week.
10 years in the past. So, it's actually Tuesday of fucking 2015.
Simpler times.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
fresh out
we're
of high
raiding.
school.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep,
We've
we're flagging.
become delusional now. Let's raid out. So
I believe we're raiding out to Phoenix Iwaki tonight. Is the
Outstanding.
plan?
You want more
So-
D&D? We've got more D&D for
Yeah,
you.
you want more D&D? You can have more D&D.
Hey, thank you so much to all of you who have hung out with us all of tonight. Again, you chose to spend time with us, and we really appreciate that. We will be back in a fortnight, I believe. Yep, we'll be back in a fortnight. And we're going to find out exactly what's actually going to happen with these guys. Are they going to go into the courts? Are they just going to find a boat and try and get out of town? What's the plan? I don't
I
know.
hold up 2 of these. Can I go fully invisible?
What can Rowan's ring actually do, if anything?
Yeah, what can, yeah.
Watch that brilliant brainwave just get immediately shut down. Like, I can't wait. Figure it out.
Awesome. Let's do the raid thing. We'll see you next. We'll see you in 2 Saturdays' time. Take care. Play nice, and remember, Duragar, our dwarves. I don't know. I'm tired. Please, let's just get out.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye now.